everybody. Welcome to Module 5. So I want to congratulate you on making it through the first half of Amazing Selling Machine. Now just to let you know, if you have not done all the steps in the previous modules yet because maybe you're waiting on inventory or waiting to hear back from a supplier, do not worry. Only focus on where you're at with this business and getting to the next step. Don't worry if you feel like you're getting a little bit behind because we're going to be here. Everyone, all our support is going to be here. The community is going to be here. So do not worry. But when you're at this point in Module 5, you're at a very exciting time in this business because you've done all the steps to get your product live, or at least it's waiting to get live. Maybe you've already ordered inventory. Now you're really ready to ramp up sales, which is why you likely got into this in the first place. And trust me, we are here to over-deliver for you, especially with these next 4 modules. So a few things coming right now. One thing is the Facebook group. So the Facebook group, we wait until you get to the second half of Amazing Selling Machine, which you've just gotten to in Module 5. So we are starting to add people to the Facebook group. This is an amazing group. You're absolutely going to love it. So you have that to look forward to. And a lot of the other tools have just been unlocked, such as the press release tool, some of the video tool, and lots of other cool things. Just to give you an example of how powerful these tools are and how valuable they are, they're all included with Amazing Selling Machine, what you already have access to. But the press release alone, I actually just ran these numbers, is that you can submit up to 3 press releases every single day, all included with your Amazing Selling Machine Builders Kit. 3 press releases a day, that's 90 a month, assuming 30 days in a month. I just ran the numbers, and looking at the some competing press release products out there that allow you to submit press releases, that's between $3,000 to $30,000 every single month in value, all included with Amazing Selling Machine, if you were to go out there and pay to have those press releases submitted through those other sites. So it's an amazing thing, all included. All these tools are only available inside of Amazing Selling Machine, and they are very, very powerful, especially once you start kicking them up and using them in modules 5, 6, and 7, and really for the rest of the time you're doing this business. So I just want to say that it's absolutely amazing. You're only 4 weeks into this really, and people are already getting huge results. We just ran the numbers, and a ton of people, brand new students that just joined right with you 4 weeks ago, have already earned their first sale badge. Now, if you haven't, don't feel bad about this. Just want to let you know that this is working. It does work. As you've seen the badge honor roll. We have people doing upwards of $1 million a month with this exact business. It's absolutely incredible, and it's still working, proven by all the new people already getting their first sale online. Now I want to let you know, the reason you'll see this video looks a little different than the other welcome videos is because we've just recorded this new video to account for all the changes in modules 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, we've been surveying our past students and really talking with them and finding out what we can do to improve the training. And what we found out is that the first 4 modules, now there's a lot of steps you have to do. There's some things you have to wait on other people and whatnot, but they're pretty much step by step. But then the second 4 modules, starting right now with Module 5, we sort of threw a lot of things out there. We think we threw too much on people's plates in terms of doing different promotion strategies and not giving them a clear enough direction. So we've completely revamped Modules 5, 6, 7, and 8 to find out and apply what's working best right now with selling products on Amazon. So we've picked out the best strategies we've seen in our own businesses, we've seen in the businesses of students that we've taught, and we've streamlined that entire process in modules 5, 6, 7, and 8. So with these people that you see doing $250,000 a month, $500,000 a month, $1 million a month, that was all built and done with training that's not as good as what you're about to experience. The training you are about to experience, believe it or not, is even more effective. It's absolutely amazing. So starting with Module 5, we really start kick-starting the promotion. So you're really laying the foundation of what you need moving on to the next modules, especially in terms of promotion. So in this module, you will start using some of the tools we have, and including the press release tool and some other ones, to start ramping up sales and traffic for your listing, even if you don't have your product live yet. So if you've created your listing like you learned in Module 4, then now you can start driving traffic there. Now, if your product's not live yet, you're not going to be able to start ramping up sales, but you'll start getting traffic there. So as soon as your product hits with inventory, you'll hopefully be able to start ramping up sales. And these are things you can do right now as long as you have an Amazon listing, even if you're waiting on inventory. So that's what Module 5 is all about. We start laying that foundation. Then Module 6 is where we start really ramping things up. Trust me, after Module 6, you will never be able to say that you don't have ways to sell your product. Any product out there, you can use what's coming in Module 6. It's some of the most cutting-edge, powerful promotional strategies anywhere. So right now, what you need to do is focus everything you've got on getting your product live. Push your suppliers, tell them you need to get this product live, get in an FBA. If you're waiting on designers, push them to get your product live so you can start using this cutting-edge information in this module, Module 5. Then Module 6 is where we really take promotion to the next level. Then Module 7, we start talking about operations and really using customer service to ramp up sales for your business. Believe it or not, in terms of getting tons of reviews, this is stuff we've never covered before, but it is extremely effective, as we found out actually after the fact. Then Module 8, we cover how to automate this entire business and outsource it using low-cost resources. So get started right now, get your product live, and dive into Module 5.
In this video, I'm going to walk you through using the powerful promotion tool in your Amazing Selling Machine Tools area. So you're going to log into your ASM Central membership, and then you're going to go to Tools and then click on the Promotion tool. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see List Promotions, Add Promotion, and Spinner Accounts. So how this works is List Promotion will simply just list any of the submitted promotions that you have done so far. Add Promotion is where you'll actually submit the information for the promotion system to start submitting. And then Spinner Accounts, this is where you'll add your Spinner account to different services. And I'll cover that in a moment. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is add a promotion. Now in the below PDF under this video, I go into a little bit more detail on really how to optimize good solid content and craft it to be able to use with this tool. But essentially how this tool works is it's going to take the information from Amazon about your product combined with information that you provide, and then it's going to blast it out to a bunch of different quality blogs and websites plus social sites to be able to get you a lot of backlinks, plus it's just going to get your product out there in front of people. The really cool thing that I love about this tool as well is that not only does it do an initial blast of promotion, which will get you a bunch of backlinks, really quality backlinks. However, what it does above that is every week it's going to check back to your product and make sure that if there are any new positive reviews added, when we say positive reviews, we mean like 3 or 4 star reviews, it's going to take those reviews then and use the content of those reviews plus the pages the reviews are on, and it's going to promote those plus promote your product so that each week you're getting more and more promotion done automatically. This is truly a set it and forget it, meaning you one time set it up, let it go, and then from there on it just keeps each week building you more and more backlinks to your product. It's very powerful. So to use this tool, first thing you're going to need to do is get your product ASIN number. In the PDF, I show you examples of how to find your ASIN number. It simply is a number that's located in the URL of your product. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to promote a product that I recently bought a couple months ago that I really like, just to show you an example of how this tool works. So I'm going to go to Amazon and we're going to look at this tool here. So I recently bought this a couple months ago and I really do like it. So it makes it a little bit easier to promote this product right now. And obviously you would do this with your own product that you're selling on Amazon. Now to get the ASIN number, it depends on the type of link it is, but usually it's right after the DP/. Now again, in the PDF I give you some examples of where to find it, but this is the ASIN number. Then we're going to go back to our tools area, and in the product ASIN section we're going to add that, and then we're going to click on this little button right here. This will simply pull in the information from Amazon about our product. Now, before we keep going, one thing I want to remind you about is that each of these little boxes can expand to provide even more information to you. Now the next section is your merchant ID, and here you would input your merchant number if needed. Now this is not needed if you are the only one selling your product. The whole intent of this feature is if you are wholesaling a product and you're competing with others for the buy box. What this will allow you to do is insert your merchant ID number that will be appended to the URL you're promoting to ensure that any link building goes only to the page that you are selling the product. Because what you can do is, for those of you that are wholesaling and not private labeling and are thus competing with other people for the same product to compete for the buy box, you want it so that you're not promoting those other sellers. You want to only promote the page that you're selling, and you can actually have a unique page that's tied to your merchant ID, so if the person goes to that specific page, they'll only be able to buy through you. So by adding your merchant ID number here, then you'll be able to create links back to only your specific page. However, if you are not wholesaling and you are private labeling and you are the only one that owns the buy box, do not enter in your merchant ID. You do not want to use it. That is only if you're wholesaling or competing with others for the buy box. So for this example, I'm going to leave that blank. Now I go again into a little bit more detail on the merchant ID in the training, and I give you an example of how you can find it. Next, you're going to enter in the promotion name, and the promotion name is simply used to help you identify this specific promotion when reviewing your list of submitted promotions. So I'm just going to simply enter in the name of this product here. Next, you're going to have your tags, and you're going to want to enter in 3 to 6 tags separated by commas. You're going to keep tags to a maximum of 3-word phrases. So for example, I'm going to enter in my words here. And you'll notice that my last one here has a 4-word phrase. Now we really do not recommend that. You're going to want to keep them to 3-word phrases. That's our recommendation. And what we recommend is that you include only 1 or 2 long tail keywords, meaning the 3 words or even 2 words, and then make sure that those best describe your product. But then what you want to do is also include 1 or 2 words that are a top level category word. So for example, we have Logitech, and we're also going to add speakers. Next, we select the category. So for this one, it would be, we could do arts, entertaining, and music, or we could scroll down. Let's see what else there is. There's product reviews we could do, technology and gadgets. I'll actually pick technology and gadgets. Now the title was automatically filled in from the information that was taken from the listing on Amazon itself. You can redo any of this information. So if you want to use a different title, which I do for this example, because what's going to happen is this title is what's going to be used as the title of the content that's going out there on the web. You really don't want to include the exact same title that's already on the Amazon listing, because then you're kind of creating duplicate content in a way, and you're more or less competing against the page on Amazon. So what I would recommend is that you change this to something custom that still contains the main primary keywords that you're targeting. So all I did is I've changed it to Logitech Surround Sound Speaker System - an incredible system for a great price. Next, in the description box, this is what again has been taken from the description on the actual listing. You are free to expand on this however you want. And in this example, what I simply did is I just went to the listing and then took the product features, copied them, and then I'm just going to paste them right in here. Now you'll notice here we have spin description. As I mentioned before, we have the spinner accounts. Now what these are API tie-ins, meaning that we tie into the back of 3 really powerful systems. The main system that I like to use is called Spin Rewriter. Now I'll go into this page in a minute to show you how to add your spinner account. But essentially what you do is you add your spinner account, and then once it's added, you'll see the option in the drop down to be able to pick what spinner system you want to use. So what you're going to do is select that and then click Spin Description. Now, what's important to note here, the reason why we do this is because we want to make your content unique so that each time it posts to our system, it posts a unique version. By doing this, you'll be able to get more exposure to your content and get it in front of more people. The important thing to note here, however, is don't just blindly spin and just submit. You're definitely going to want to review the content and make sure the spin variations count. A very important point to make here is that all of these submissions are manually audited and moderated, meaning that we go through and double check everything, ensure that all the content reads well and is submitted to the proper categories and is something that we ourselves would be okay with publishing on our own blogs. So you want to make sure your content is double checked so that the spin variations make sense. To use it, you simply click on Spin Description. So now you can see that a few of the words in here have been changed to a spinnable format. So then what will happen is each time that this is submitted, it'll just use a different variation of the words within brackets. And you're also free to add as many variations as you want. So for example, where it says 500, you can simply add a bracket and type in 500. Then put the pipe symbol, which is usually above the return key, but it's a straight up and down line on the same key, usually as a backslash, I believe it is. So now it'll rotate between using the word 500 or the number 500. Next, we're going to add our content. This is going to be a small blurb that really helps to make the posts being added very much more legitimate. A lot of times people simply just submit, they'll copy and paste content from Amazon and just submit it out, blast it out and think, oh great, but you're really just regurgitating the same content that's already out there. Google doesn't really care for that. None of the search engines do. You want to be able to make it unique, but even more important than that is you want to really pre-sell the reader here. For example, when someone comes to the post that this makes and just sees, information about the product but nothing else, that really doesn't pre-sell them. What you want to do is create a 250 to 350 word little blurb that really pre-sells the person on the product. It's very simple to do, and in the PDF I walk through exactly how I like to do it. But here's the example that I've given. So it just simply says, if you're anything like me, you probably would have never given Logitech a second thought. And obviously, make sure your spelling and grammar is okay when it comes to a great sounding surround sound system. But all I can say is, boy, was I ever wrong. And then I go into a little story about how, my friend had this speaker system and I was impressed with it. And then essentially I just went and got it. But the whole idea here is if someone reads this, they're going to be all of a sudden relating to you because they can understand where you're coming from. Hopefully you understand the demographics of your audience, of your main purchasers. So mine were based on guys, between the age of 25 and 35 that obviously were into, gadgets and stereos and stuff. So I talked about that. But what else I wanted to cover was how I also get a little bit of a blurb in here about Amazon, because you want to encourage the user to understand that Amazon's a great place to buy things. Because then when they check your product out and see it's from Amazon, they'll be a little bit more convinced that Amazon's a great place to buy the product. As with the description, you're going to want to spin the content. So I'm going to click the spin button, wait for it to do its thing. Now again, you're going to want to go through and just read it. So it would be, if you're anything like me, you most likely would have never ever provided, offered Logitech a second thought, a reservation. I'm not really cool with the word a reservation. I don't like how that reads. So I would simply remove that, spin variation, and keep going. Or you could change it to a second thought and then second thought. And that's just an example of how you can modify it. Do whatever you want. Just make sure that it reads well. Then the last thing here is the template. The template I'm sorry, actually the second last thing. I'll cover this in a moment. The template is simply how the content will be formatted when it's posted. So you can see it starts off with the content, then it adds an image, a description, and then the link. You might want to change it. So for this example, I'll just change it. I'll put the link actually right under the image. So now when it's posted, it'll follow that format. And you can change this however you want. Now the last point here, this is actually the Kindle ebooks. And while we don't get into Kindle marketing right now, if you do have a Kindle ebook, what you can do and you want to be promoting it here, Kindle ebooks offer free days that you can give away your product. So what this is if you are giving away your Kindle ebook on a free day with the Kindle system, what you can do is click here and then enter the date that it's going to be given away for free, and our system will actually post things that day that talk about how that product is free that day. This is only for Kindle publishers, and for anyone else that we haven't taught about Kindle publishing, don't even worry about it. And we will be giving some more information on Kindle very soon. However, for right now, just focus on getting your product promoted. So once that's done, you're going to click Preview and Submit. And as you can see here, if there's any errors in your submission, you'll have to go and fix them. And what I forgot to do is add the spin code to the title, which is also very important. You want to make sure that your title has spin code in it as well, so that when it posts, it's unique on each of the posts. And that's very simple to do. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment here, and then I'll update this title. So I've now updated my title to include spin code, and I'm ready to submit. Now, just to show you for the example, I'm going to click Save as Draft. You'll see it says Promotion Written. So what I can do now then is go to List Promotions, and you'll see that my promotion is there. You would then click on this Edit icon for Edit Promotions. So I'm going to click on that. It'll bring me back to here, and I can continue working as if I never left. So now that I'm ready to submit, I'm going to click Preview and Submit. So what it's going to do is just give you a general preview of how the content is going to look. So for a lot of the posts, this is how it's going to be formatted. Now obviously it'll depend on how the site that it's posting to looks, but you get the general idea. You'll also notice that the link, how we do this is we automatically use different anchor text. And this is very powerful because the search engines, well, primarily Google, don't like the same anchor text being used all the time for promotions. So what this does is this actually uses a call to action with the keyword of the product and mixes it up all the time so that you're really diversifying what the anchor text is for your page, for your link. So if everything looks good, you can then click on I have read and agree to the terms of submission and submit variation. If you'd rather, or submit promotion, if you'd rather first check out another variation, you can click Get Variation, and what it'll do is it'll respin the code, meaning it'll go back and get a new variation so that you can go through and make sure everything still reads good. If you wish to edit the promotion, you click on Edit Promotion, and it'll bring you back to this page to make whatever changes you want to make. Let's click on Preview and Submit again. And if everything looks good, let's just click on I agree and submit promotion. So as you'll see now, the promotion is submitted, and it'll bring you back to the list promotions page, and it'll show you your promotion. You'll notice this little flag, and when it's turned to yellow, that means it's awaiting approval. If it's red, that means it was declined, and you will receive a notification as to why. And if it's green, it'll show that it's been submitted, it's been approved. If it's purple, that means that it is in draft mode and you'll be able to edit it. Now for the spinner accounts, how you add the spinner accounts is you click on the spinner accounts tab. Now on this page, you'll notice, as in my example, my accounts list, it has my information for my spin rewriter account. If you want to add different accounts, you simply click on the appropriate service you want to use, so for example, Spin Rewriter, and then you enter in the information. In the PDF related to this training video, I include links of how to sign up for these services, and we'll be updating this page to include links to those as well. So that's how you use the promotion tool. It's extremely powerful, and I recommend you use it for each product that you add to Amazon.
So e-commerce is all about the review economy. Reviews are absolutely critical to the success of any product being sold online, especially on Amazon. So this is why you're going to learn right now how to get 3 reviews for your Amazon product as part of the listing launch formula, mainly so your product has some solid social proof. The reason you need 3 reviews, and that's what I recommend to get started, is that on an Amazon product page, if you scroll down to the reviews section, you'll notice that there are exactly 3 reviews that show up in full length at the bottom of the page. Those are the primary ones people are going to read. Then you'll notice that there's some reviews on the right-hand side. Those are the new ones that come in and generally just display a little snippet in the review title. So the 3 reviews is really the bare minimum you need to get started. One thing to keep in mind is that you do not want to go out purchasing fake reviews. In the past, people have used sites like Fiverr.com. Really not a good thing to do. First off, it looks fake. Second off, it can really get your Amazon product and Amazon account in trouble. So do not do that. You don't even need to do that. So the way you're going to get your initial 3 reviews is by offering a free product to people that you know that could use the product, whether that's friends, family member, people you know on Facebook. Either way, you really just need 3 people that could possibly use your product. One critical thing, and really the only criteria, is that these people have their own Amazon accounts so that they can post the reviews. So asking people you know to write a review of your product is perfectly within Amazon's policies if you do it the right way. The way you do it the right way is by sending them the product, and they get the product first before they write the review, and you ask them to write an unbiased review. Now, in all honesty, if these are people you know and that hopefully like you, the reviews are going to be positive. So a few tips on what to ask them when they write the review. First off, they can comment on the appearance of the product. Does the packaging, does the design, does the product itself look good and fulfill its promises? They can comment on the shipping. They can comment on the usability of the product. Is it easy to use? Another thing you can ask them to comment on is what they like about the product and why they would recommend it to other people. One thing to keep in mind is that if you're selling the type of product that may take a while to get the main biggest results, you really want those people to comment on the immediate benefits. An easy example is if you're selling like an acne cream, you don't want them to comment like 6 months later, hey, this thing worked, it took a while, that sort of thing. They can comment more on the immediate benefits, how that makes their face feel, that sort of thing. The reason this is important is because just really the essence of time. You want those reviews ideally within a few days so that you can get moving with the rest of this promotion system. Lastly, I'm going to provide you an email template that tells you how to ask for all of this stuff, but when they go to write the review, you're also going to ask them to click the little like button, and if they see any other positive reviews on the product, to click the yes button to mark those as helpful, and I'll explain more about what that is in the next video.
Welcome to Social Proof Part 2. Additional tips for getting your first 3 product reviews. In this lesson, we're going to build upon the previous video where Matt talked about getting your first 3 product reviews and go over a couple of different situations that you might encounter and offer some suggestions that'll still allow you to go ahead and get those product reviews even though you might not think that you can. The first one is, what if your product's not ready for sale yet? How can you still go ahead and get a review? And the answer? Try using your product sample. If your product's still being manufactured or maybe even shipped from wherever it's being made at, you can still get a legitimate product review from friends or family by giving them the product sample that you received from your manufacturer. Now, as long as that sample is the same product that you're having manufactured, doesn't have to have the logo or packaging on it, but if it's the same product, it's totally fine for them to review that. That way they can try it out and see it and touch it and provide you with an honest review of your product. Next, since only US-based people can review products on Amazon, how do you still get reviews if you're not from the United States, nor do you have any friends or family who live there? And the answer? Try and get the friends and family members of US-based ASM members, but not the members themselves, to try out your product for free, or maybe for a deeply discounted price, in return for nothing more than some honest product feedback. And if you follow the course and built yourself a quality product, chances are that product feedback will come in the form of a good product review. Now, there are some important notes to keep in mind. First off, note that you're not allowed to do the following. 1, never request reviews from another ASM member, and 2, never offer to review another ASM member's products. Both of those can leave quite a footprint that's easily recognizable from anyone looking at the products on Amazon. And also, they give the appearance of what's called review swapping, which is definitely against Amazon's terms of service. And trust us, we're really looking out for you here, and it's in your best interest not to have this happen, because we don't want to see anything happen to you or anyone else's seller account. And lastly, never specifically ask anyone to give you a positive review. You just want to ask them to give their honest product feedback. And again, as long as you've built a quality product, that product feedback is most likely going to come in the form of a positive product review. Now, in order to facilitate this entire process, a special section in the forums has been set up called Help Getting Reviews. It contains a lot of additional information, more than what we could fit into this short presentation here. So I suggest you go check it out, and then when you're ready to try getting your product reviews, use that forum for that purpose.
The purpose of this training module is to go through the process and guide you through how to be announcing your product with press releases. And the first thing we're going to cover is the purpose and benefits of using press releases. So a press release, especially an online press release, which we're talking about now, is a popular way of informing the media about your business and its offerings. And it's very low cost and highly effective method of getting traffic to specific web pages. And since press releases are published on numerous different websites, press release directories, Google News, Yahoo News, and more, then these link directly to what it is you're promoting. So for example, you're promoting your Amazon listing page. Well, you're going to get a direct link to your Amazon page, and you'll be able to send lots of targeted traffic to it. Now, every month, millions upon millions of people use Google News and Yahoo News and those different news sites to find a wide range of topics. And when they conduct a news search, they often find relevant press releases that you can submit to those different sites. And in fact, according to Nielsen net ratings, unique audiences of Yahoo News and Google News alone rival the online audiences of other current events and global news destinations such as CNN and BBC. So essentially what I'm saying is that press releases have a huge traffic potential, especially when done right. In the included PDF below this video, I go into more detail about the power of press releases, but they just really are extremely effective when done right. The problem is a lot of people really get hung up on what should you write about. And press releases are very popular, and as such, every day thousands of people are submitting them, and they really get abused by a lot of people as well too. But the problem really comes down to is press releases should only be used when you want to send out something newsworthy, like an announcement. It shouldn't be used for just general conversation, general information. Because the primary purpose of a press release is to inform the world of your news item. So don't use a press release as a hyped up advertisement to make a sale, or it just simply will not be effective because the press release directories will not approve it, and the media outlets that are looking for press releases will just ignore them completely. Now in the PDF again that I've included that's below this video, I give you tons of topic examples to be able to go. In fact, there's over 40 in a list, and then I give you in the action plan, we expand out into 7 press releases you can write right now. So there's lots of content to write about, but it's always important to remember it needs to be an announcement of something newsworthy for your business. But newsworthy can mean anything. It could mean new packaging, things that are happening within your business. Let's say you hire somebody, expanding your team. There's just so many avenues you can go. Don't get hung up on that. And when you look at the different examples that we give, you'll see there's tons and tons of opportunities to be able to write effective press releases. Now, another cool thing is increased search engine rankings from press releases. Now, it just so happens that we've recently had a Panda update, and Google is always updating different things when it comes to their algorithm, and I have had very favorable results with recent press releases that I've submitted. And what's cool about it is it's the press releases that I really followed these next guidelines I'm going to give you with are just doing phenomenal. So I want you to know press releases still work, but however, the problem with it is if you don't do press releases right, Google will want nothing to do with them. So you need to understand that right now. While submitting your press releases, these different sites that they go to can send traffic, you really want to be able to optimize it so the search engines actually use those press releases and rank them in their indexing. And with that said, I want to quickly go over what I call the rules of getting SEO benefit from press releases. So the first one is you really need to make sure you have quality content. You know, not too many years ago, the concept of quality, worthwhile content was really just something that was a nice idea instead of a practice strategy. And using low quality writers to pump out press releases for $5 was really a common practice. And the end result was press releases that were frankly complete garbage, often with such bad grammar that they were almost impossible to make any sense of. And what the content was actually doing was just spamming the internet. Now, over the last couple of years, Google's really come a long way to be able to identify poor grammar. And from my experience, it is now a real ranking factor. And from a lot of the press releases that get removed, it's because they're just completely terribly written. So what that means is Google is able to run a basic grammar checker. In my opinion, this is what they can do anyway. On the content, there's free grammar checkers out there, and trust me, I'm sure when Google indexes the web page, they can quickly check grammar. And if the grammar looks poor, they just don't want anything to do with it. And even if they do rank it at one time, if they go back and let's say their grammar checker happens after the fact, they'll simply remove the content later. So you really want to focus on getting your content to be well written. The next thing is do not hyperlink with the same anchor text. Now, the anchor text is the word in a link that's blue underlined. So when you read an article and you see that blue underlined word, that's the anchor text. And the biggest mistake that so many publishers make is they simply write a press release and they use their keyword, let's say race cars is the keyword that they want to rank for. So they hyperlink that word race cars, and that's all they do. So what ends up happening is every time they submit a press release, they just have the word race cars hyperlinked to their website. And what's happening is Google is really looking at these things. And if every time you submit an article, it just hyperlinks specific little keyword phrases, that's going to be a red flag for Google. Now, what I recommend instead is you either just link with the URL, meaning the thing that says HTTP, yourdomain.com, so it'd be the Amazon listing, or you hyperlink an entire sentence. So in your press release, you might say, race cars have been flying off the shelves on Amazon. I'm just using an example. And so that entire sentence would now be hyperlinked, but it has my keyword in the sentence. So that's the strategy I do. I rotate between just using the URL and actually hyperlinking a full sentence. The next rule is don't link to the same URL every time. If every press release you submit simply has the same one or two links in it every time going to the same site, that's going to also raise red flags. You want to be rotating it. You want to make sure that some of your links might go to the reviews. Some of them might go to, even your seller page. So when your seller's account page, so when you're on the listing page and it shows sold by, that's linked. And so if you click on that link, it'll bring up all the products you sell. So, it's good to link to that page because all those pages then link back to your main product listing on Amazon. So you want to be rotating it up often. Now, that doesn't mean every press release cannot link to your product listing. You can certainly do that, but as long as you're rotating the other links that are in the press release as well too, so things are mixed up. But whatever you're linking to, if you link to the same URL more than once, always rotate the anchor text that's being used. Another excellent rule is to use press releases to promote other promotions. I personally don't like to submit every press release going to the same URL. So my press releases will rotate all the time. And often I don't even directly promote my Amazon product. I will promote other things such as a YouTube video, a Twitter post, and different things like that that then link back to my Amazon listing page. But by promoting them with the press release, what you're doing is now getting action going to those other sites that are then linking to your Amazon page, and you're just helping everything. You're increasing the rankings of those other sites that are promoting you, and you're also indirectly promoting your Amazon page because all the link juice that flows through on all those. Now, the last rule is really, it just comes down to submit lots of press releases. Don't think one press release is all that's going to help you. You're going to have to do multiple press releases. And in fact, this is something I recommend you eventually outsource and just have someone every day writing a really good press release and submitting it for you. Because remember, you want to do an action every single day. Now, one tip that I recommend you do is use Google Alerts. Google Alerts will help you get notified whenever there's any update of content online that is either your website URL, your product name, your product URL on Amazon. Do all alerts for all those different things, because that way you'll get notified. Let's just say some random affiliate ends up promoting your product. They write a blog post about your product and put it on their blog. Well, that would be a great thing to find out, because I know if someone did that for me, I would promote the heck out of that page, because that's going to get me more sales myself. The other factor is you want to identify bad news about you. So if someone does a slamming review, you can be identified about it. You can then contact them and try to resolve it amicably, and it just works great. So I really recommend everyone use Google Alerts. Now, the next thing is how to write a press release. Now, I can't go into a press release writing course here. The best thing to do is to go to places like PR Buzz, PR Web, and different websites like that, and look at the different press releases and look at press releases that relate to the target market you're in to understand exactly how to write a press release. Now, there is a few items that are really important. The first thing is really make sure you understand that the best way to start is to choose an angle that will grab your reader's attention. You really need to think creatively on this. And to me, the best methods to follow are, make it a human interest thing. So everybody loves heroes. They love to hear about success and failure. So tell them, relate a story so it somehow creates a strong emotional response for them, for your audience. Another thing is you can take a stand. A great idea here is if, let's say, there's a news story or something not confrontational, but something, maybe even scandalous or something out there that, is something related to your market. And what you can do is you can write a blog post about that newsworthy story that also links to your product on Amazon. And so what you can do then is write a press release that announces your viewpoint on that news story, and then that blog also promotes your Amazon listing. So your press release is promoting the blog post, and the blog post is promoting your product. Focus on the time of the year. We've got different holidays: summer, winter, Christmas, July 4th. Try to relate your press releases to that, or be a trend communicator. There's always new trends coming out. Find out what is growing in popularity and relate to it. You'll notice by keeping those things in mind, plus the ideas that I give you in the PDF below, press releases don't always have to directly relate to your product specifically, and that's where a lot of people get really hung up. Think outside the box. Think of how you can talk about things that make sense for you in the content to still be able to link to your product. When it comes to formatting your press release, though, there are some really important items here you want to remember. First of all, make sure it's about 300, preferably 400 to 600 words in length of high quality content. Mixed case. What that means is don't try to submit a title that is in all capitals. It just won't get approved. It makes it look way too hyped up. Just do everything so the first letter of each word is capitalized, and that's it for your title. Please, please, please correct grammar usage only. Make sure that, I use a product called White Smoke. It's a great grammar checker. I recommend you use it. Things like that. It really just double checks, make sure that it, crosses the T's and dots the I's kind of thing. It's very powerful, and it just helps ensure you have good quality content. Never have HTML in it. You never want to, directly try to have HTML in your press release. I'm not talking about links. I'm talking about if you're trying to do other things in your press release, just have text and URLs. That's it. Now, when you do your submission, you can also include a video using our tool and an image. However, that's different. We're talking about in the submission of the content text that you submit, have no HTML in there. The only things that you're including are links that are to be included with the press release. Make sure it's more than one paragraph. Don't just have a huge block of text. Make sure it's broken up. Really focus on a solid attention-grabbing headline, preferably that has your keyword in it that you want the press release ranking for. And remember, you really want to make sure you can do as much in 25 words or less with this title, the least amount of words as possible, but that have the most bang for their buck. And then for the body of the press release, you really want to take what the headline says and then expand on it by talking about the who, what, when, where, and how, and of course why in relation to that headline. And last but not least, do not ever say I in the press release. You really want to keep the press release objective throughout, so do not use the words I, we, or you except in direct quotes. Now, as mentioned in the below PDF, again, I really want to emphasize this so you guys don't overlook that. I go into a lot more detail on not only how to format your press release, but also some really common press release mistakes. But then I give you a list of topics that you can write about that really cover a huge gamut. So I give you over 40 topics. In fact, I give you 42 topics that you can write about. So it gives you different ideas, 42 different ideas of what you can write about. But with that, I also include 7 specific action ideas that you're going to want to do, because what you're going to want to do, as I mentioned earlier, is it's recommended that you outsource this and that you do an action every day with it. Now in Module 8, we actually go into some more in-depth outsource training, but right now you can start getting set up to be able to outsource this. And the really critical part, especially for this type of system, is that you truly understand how to do the process. So you do the press release yourself initially. That doesn't mean that you write it, but at least you review what the writer has written, and then you submit it using the press release tool. And once you totally are comfortable with everything, then you outsource it. Now, the action plan that I have is a 7-day action plan. So what you're going to want to do is over the next 7 days, create 1 press release a day and submit it. And the first one, on day 1, you're going to want to do a press release about launching your new product. So this press release will focus on announcing the release of your new product. This release is focused on the product and makes no mention of Amazon whatsoever. You're simply announcing the release of your brand new product, whatever it is. The next day, your press release is going to be announcing that you're now selling your product on Amazon. So even though the previous day was an announcement about your product, this one is specifically focused on the topic of, hey, we're selling now on Amazon. Then day 3, I recommend that you set up a sales price promotion on your product so you can start the sale today, and then, if today was the day you submit that press release, and then have it end in, say, 2 weeks. So pick a specific date that sale price ends. It could just be a couple dollars off. It doesn't have to be much. Heck, it could be 50 cents different. It doesn't matter as long as there's a sales price. And this press release submission specifically announce the start of this limited time sales price. Then day 4, I recommend you do an announcement of customer experience with the product. Now you're going to obviously have a few reviews initially posted on your product, and if you don't, you're going to want to do that first. But now you're going to do a press release that focuses on promoting those reviews, because you want to get some good news going out there. So what you'll do is you'll actually quote some of those reviews in your press release, just really giving some good vibes about your product. Then on day 5, what you do is you announce a free shipping. Now Amazon, this is a little tricky, but Amazon actually provides free shipping for orders over $35. And in this release, you can mention how they get free shipping if they order today. But if the product is over $35, you can just say, get free shipping with your order. However, if your product is less than $35, you just need to have to word it so buy two and get free shipping. That's assuming, of course, that 2 orders would equal over $35 to be able to qualify for the free shipping. Then on day 6, I recommend you do an announcement about the money-back guarantee. Now, Amazon offers a money-back guarantee for 30 days, and you can create a press release just focused on that. Or if you're offering an additional, let's say you have a lifetime guarantee and you'll refund people through your company itself, announce that. Either way, focus this press release on announcing the money-back guarantee. And then last but not least, announcement on day 7 of the ending of the sale price. So this press release will focus on telling them when the sale is over and giving them a rush to say, buy now because this sales price is going away. Now, if your product is not in stock yet, because these 7 press releases are obviously focused on you having a product in stock, but if you have your product shipping to Amazon, but it's not quite in Amazon yet, what you can do is instead of doing the sales price press release, for example, you can now set up a Twitter account directly related to your product and then do an announcement about setting up of your new Twitter account. Set up a YouTube page that promotes your product and to do an announcement of that. There's always ideas of things you can do press releases for. If your product is in stock, I recommend the 7-day system I just gave you. If it's not in stock, get creative and think of some other ideas, but still do it. As long as your listing is live and you followed the training on how to make your listing live, then you can write anything you want as long as it's newsworthy, announcing something. So in the next video, it's going to be covered on how to use the press release tool. So I recommend you start getting some press releases created and start using that tool right away. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the powerful press release tool provided in your Amazing Selling Machine members area. So when you log into your members area, you're going to want to click on Tools, and then you're going to come to the press release area where you'll see the press release tab. When you're in the press release section, you're going to see List Press Releases, Add Press Release, and List Profiles. The list press releases will simply list all of the submitted press releases you have had to date. Obviously, if you have not submitted anything, you'll see a blank page. The Add Press Release tab, this is where the magic happens, and this is where you actually submit the details for your press release. You'll notice that you can actually select a preset profile, and if you drop down here, there'll be a list of profiles in here. What these profiles are they're related to the profile information you submit with your press release. So when you create a press release and submit it, what will happen is the profile you created will actually be saved. And this is handy for future reference, so the next time you come in and if you want to submit a press release with the exact same details, you'll simply be able to select the pre-saved profile from the drop-down box. Now you'll also be able to click on the List Profiles tab here in the left-hand column, and this will then list all of the profiles that you've created. So if you've created multiple different profiles, they'll all be listed here. Now the way our system works is it'll submit your press release to thousands of websites and media outlets, including Google and Yahoo News. The thing to remember, however, is this does not guarantee that your release will appear on sites like Google News, as your release really needs to be newsworthy enough for that. Now we do have a very high percentage rate of success, but it comes down to the quality of your press release and whether or not it's truly a newsworthy piece of content. Within your release, you'll also be able to add up to 3 unique links. One in the main body section, then one in the About section and the Contact section. So you'll notice here, and we're going to go through this in more detail in a moment, but you're going to be able to create one that goes in the Contact section, and this will appear in the bottom of the press release. Then you're going to have one in the About text. This is just above the contact information, is the closing piece of content that really closes the press release and tells them how to learn more. And then you'll be able to put one in the press release body. Now when I go through the strategies of how to fill out this form and submit, I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. Now another really important fact to remember is that each submitted press release goes through a 2-step submission process and may actually take up to 48 hours, not including weekends and holidays, before it'll start appearing online. The first step is quality moderation. This is to ensure that the press release is unique, not already published all over the web, reads well, contains proper grammar, no spelling errors, the links work, and the category you select relates to the topic, plus the image also relates to the topic, and this is the image that you include with your press release. The process can take up to about 24 hours, not including weekends and holidays, just for that first step. Then the next step is the manual submission. So once approved, the press release is then manually submitted to ensure that everything is entered properly and the image is uploaded correctly. Once submitted, it can take an additional 24 hours, again not including holidays and weekends, for it to start appearing online. In the attached PDF with this training guide, I go over this information, but I also provide you with an image that kind of highlights exactly how your press release gets formatted when it gets sent out. So once you're ready to actually submit your press release, if you do not have a profile that you want to use, the first step will be to enter in your business name. So this is your business or company name, and if you do not have a business or company name and just want to use your website name or your product name or something like that, you can as well, but I recommend you use the top level business name. So you would enter in your business name, and then the next would be the city that your business runs out of, so the city, the state or province that it's located in, and the zip or postal code for its mailing address, and last of all, the phone number. Now, if you do not have a phone number to use, you can put something in there that's not real, such as a 5555 number, but I do highly recommend that you get some sort of phone forwarding. Now, there's great low-cost services out there like evoice.com and different services like that, or you could simply get a Skype phone number or a Google phone number. And the reason you want to do this is because if your press release when submitted gets picked up by certain media outlets, they'll actually want to contact you. Every now and again, you might have someone try to contact you that wants to do an interview, wants to learn more about you. And if you truly want to get the most exposure from this, you really do want to provide as many avenues as possible for them to contact you, and that includes a phone number. Now, as I continue, one note that I want to stress here is that each of these little question marks here, if you click on them, will expand with a little bit more information. Now, obviously, there's just some basic information in there, but as we get down further, it does go into a little bit more detail. Next, you're going to have your contact name. This can be your name or your name of the alias that you want to run this through. So, for example, if you don't want it to be your name on the press release, you can really put any name you want on here and just have it that they're the name, the alias that represents the PR department of your company. The contact email. Now, this is important. We do not recommend you put something like jason@yourcompany.com. What you want to do instead is have something like PR or media@yourcompany.com. This just helps it to come across a little bit more professional. Then you're going to enter in your contact information, so your contact URL, and you want to ensure you put HTTP, then the :// and then your domain. Now, with the domain for the contact URL, you really need to ensure you include something there. And if you do not have a web page created, what you can put here is your Amazon storefront URL. Now, this is a URL that Amazon provides you that will automatically redirect to a page listing all of your products. And so this is actually a very cool page to promote because that's another page that you can rank in the search engines and will link to all of your products. Where you can get that is if you log into your Seller Central account, and on the top you simply click the tab Settings, and then drop down, you'll be able to select Account Info. You'll then want to scroll down to a section called Seller Information. And then under that you'll see Storefront Link. Now, if you don't have one created already, you can click the Edit and simply create one. And how it'll format it is something like this. So it'll say amazon.com/shops/ your seller name. Now, just taking anyone in an example, I grabbed a random one on Amazon. You can see here, for example, Sun World. We go here, and you can see now this lists all the products of that company. But you'll notice that it actually redirected. And you don't want to use a long, ugly URL like that. It's much better to use a short URL such as this, which will then redirect for you automatically. So now that you have your contact URL, the next section here is the About link, About URL, and About text. Now, the About link, which is made up of the About keyword and URL, will be entered into your About text area, and it will be entered into there using this little token. So this token will be located in your About text. And how this works is this token will actually be made up of this. So when we end up posting these press releases, the about underscore link token will be replaced with this, and the about URL will be the URL you enter into here, and the about keyword will be the keyword that you put in here. Now with the text that you want to have in here for the about text, is this needs to be something that represents describing your company. Now here's a really weak example. You're definitely going to want to be able to put something much more detailed than this. But as for an example, ABC Company is dedicated to providing top quality, and then about link and other household items. So let's say, for example, our word here for about was the good old silicone spatulas. So what would happen is when this is created, it would say ABC Company is dedicated to providing top quality silicone spatulas and other household items. And what you're going to want to do here is have the URL linked to your product. Now here's an important thing to note. As I mentioned before, is you can use 3 URLs, 3 links in this press release. So you'll have one in the body, one in the description, or sorry, the about text, and then one in the contact area. If you own a blog, I highly recommend that you put a blog post up, or a website, sorry, if you own a website or a company blog for this product. If you've done that already, you're going to want to add a page, add a post that is about your product, because you can advertise it in this section as well too. So you'll be getting more link building efforts going to more properties, helping you get more exposure. So what I would do here is, if I have a blog or a company site about my products, I would create a page about my silicone spatulas. I'd do an introduction about what the product is, why they want to get it, all the good stuff about it, and then on that page I'd have a very strong call to action. Click here to go get yours now. That would obviously link directly to my Amazon page. And then when this is rendered and published to the press release sites, this will be promoting that web page. Now if you do not have a web page, then you can put anything you want here. You could do the product page, or you could even do the reviews page, and I've mentioned this before. So ABC Company is dedicated to providing top quality silicone spatulas, as you can read in their top quality, in their, high rated about link, like that. So what we might have in here instead is silicone spatulas reviews, and actually let's change this to the correct word too. So they're high rated about link. So again, that'll say now ABC Company is dedicated to providing top quality silicone spatulas, as you can read in their high rated, and then here will be replaced with a link to their Amazon reviews page, silicone spatula reviews. Now to get your Amazon review page, if we just use one of these examples here, let's just pick any one of these products. You can see here 385 customer reviews. This is the page, so you'd click on there and then just grab this link. Now one thing to note for the reviews page, don't grab anything from after the last slash and where it starts to say ref equals. That's just different data that Amazon is looking for. This is the page that you actually want to use. So I would, if this was the product review page that I was talking about, I would simply enter that in here. So then you're going to click Save Profile. So now your profile is saved, and as we mentioned before, you'll see here now you'll have this profile saved for later use. So if we came in and submitted a new press release tomorrow, we could simply select this profile name and it would fill in all this information. The next section is the main body area and headline of your press release. The first field you're going to fill out is the project name, and this is simply for later reference. So when we're up here and list press releases, they'll be listed by project name. Then you're going to select the appropriate category that your press release belongs to, and make sure you collect the correct one, because we do again manually approve all of these, and if the content does not relate to the category, it will not be approved. And then you enter in your headline. So your headline will go here. And then your keywords will go here, so you'll want to enter a few keyword phrases and have them, as you see here, comma separated. So you'll put the keyword phrase, a comma, and then another keyword phrase, and then comma, and another one. And again, just a reminder, you can expand these to know if there's anything specific that you need to know. For example, with the headline, 100 characters or less. And I believe for the keywords, it's the same criteria. Yes. Next, you're going to be able to select your image or logo that you want to include with your press release. And we recommend you include something like a 300 by 300 pixel image, and there's only 3 types of images that we accept. It's a .gif, a .jpeg, or a .png. Now, all of these details are provided in the PDF, so if you need to reference it, you can just reference that information in there. So you'd simply click on Choose File, and then it'll open a window that'll have you select the image that you want to use. Now, the press release link, this works very similar to the About link, but this is going to be the link that you're included in the press release body. So this will be more likely your product. So again, using the silicone spatula example, we would have it there, the keyword that we want, and then we would have our HTTP, and this would be the link on Amazon to our product / our product. Then in the press release section, you'll see here, we're going to use, it's now called PR link. So where we want this link in our press release, we will need to include it here. So as you're talking in the press release, wherever you have an instant, now you don't want to replace all instances, but only one, where you have an instance of the word silicone spatula, you'll want to replace it with the word PR link. So then when the press release is published, it'll include that as a link. So it'll replace this with the word silicone spatula linked to that URL. Last but not least, you're going to click on Preview and Submit, and then the next page will allow you to preview it where you can submit it, or you can use it Save as Draft, and that'll simply save it to your profile. You will not submit it to anything. You could just later come in, edit it if you need to, and submit it at a later date. So that's using the press release tool. It's a very powerful tool. I recommend you use it. Recommend you also go through the attached PDF. It details some great information on creating really powerful press releases and also gives you more tips on using this tool.
In this video, I'm going to discuss the ASM Alliance tool and give you a basic overview. Essentially, it is a co-op where you complete jobs for other members and other members complete jobs for you in return. This cooperation is done via credits. You earn credits for completing jobs, and you spend those credits when members complete your jobs. We currently have 2 different types of job, both of which have sub-jobs underneath them. First of all, review voting. This involves voting your product reviews up or down depending on the rating of the review. And don't worry, we'll be going into a lot more detail in later videos. And social jobs. And these include Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and also we have YouTube coming soon. As you have already discovered, reviews for your product are a critical aspect of the ASM process. Now, your product listing shows between 3 and 10 reviews on the main page, and the idea of review voting is it's designed to enable you to have the best reviews appearing on the main page once you have more than 10 reviews. The social jobs are all about getting social proof for your product listing. As mentioned, this is done using Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and soon YouTube. Social proof is a massive factor these days, and these jobs enable you to take advantage of this. All these jobs will be discussed in detail in the following videos, but it is critically important you follow the instructions in the videos. We do have strict guidelines for completing and posting jobs, and you must comply with them. Remember, this is a co-op, so complete all jobs as though you are completing them for yourself. When it comes to promoting your product, the ASM Alliance tool is a fantastic weapon and will only continue to increase in power as the membership grows. So now you know what it is, we recommend you go ahead and watch all the videos in this series about the Alliance tool before making a start and completing some jobs to get yourself some credits. But that's it for this video. Take care. Okay, welcome to this second video in the Alliance Tool series. In this video and the next one, we're going to be talking about completing jobs. But for this video, we're going to be talking about setting up our social accounts to use with the Alliance Tool to complete jobs.
in such a way to make sure we all get the most from using the Alliance tool. Now, in order to complete social jobs, obviously you are going to need to have an account at each of the 3 social sites. But when it comes to the review voting jobs, you want to use your personal Amazon account, i.e. the one you use to buy products from Amazon. But this video is going to concentrate on setting up your social accounts. Before I show you the social account setups, it is critically important to remember that this is a cooperative effort. The best way to go about completing these jobs is to do them as though you were doing them for yourself. If we all complete these jobs in a conscientious manner, the power of this incredible tool will continue to grow and grow. Now, there are 3 social accounts at present you need to have to complete all the jobs, and those are Facebook, Twitter and Pinterest. YouTube will be following shortly, but for now we are going to concentrate on the first 3. Now, you might well have accounts at these sites already, and you can use them. But if you do not want to be posting products on your personal account, then the simple answer is to set up a new account. I will cover each site next, but the crucial thing to remember is whether you create a new account or you use an existing one, that you make the accounts look real. This is not hard to do, and I will show you easy ways to do this. If you don't make the effort to make your accounts look real, you will run the risk of your Alliance posting privileges being suspended until it is rectified. So for Facebook, if you have not created a bunch of Facebook accounts, for instance for some internet marketing purpose, from your current location, then there is no problem creating a new account. Facebook know that they are going to have multiple accounts from one IP address, and they are not going to ban you. Think of a family. They are going to have multiple accounts from the same IP. My personal recommendation is create a new account, using the same surname and just having a different first name. Please note, however, if you choose to create a new Facebook account, it must be an actual account. Using a personal page or a business page is not allowed. It has to be an actual account. For Twitter, if you have an existing account that you don't use for interacting with friends, then use it. Otherwise, as with Facebook, just create a new account. For Pinterest, once again, you can use an existing account. And I don't know many people that use Pinterest for interacting with their friends, so that is probably the best option. Or if you prefer, you can create a new one. It is up to you. But when you create a board for your images, do not put ASM in the name. Now, I'm not going to do a video showing you how to create accounts at these 3 sites, as they are all straightforward and they walk you through it. However, you must complete the profile setup on each site, including an image. You do not need to use your own personal information. You can create a persona. And then the next critical thing is to add content to your accounts so they do not just contain ASM products and URLs. So let's go online, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to add content and make your account look real. It is really simple to do and is critical whether you choose to complete jobs yourself or have an outsourcer or staff member do it. So here I am inside Facebook. This is an old account I created for my outsourcers to use and never got around to actually getting them to use it. The important things to note with Facebook: make sure you fill out your profile, especially adding an image. And you want to fill out things like location, job, all those kind of things. But you can create a persona and make up all that information. Once you've got it all set up, you obviously need to start adding friends. Now, Facebook is going to recommend friends to you based on your location to start with. And basically every time you log in to Facebook to complete Alliance jobs, then go ahead and send out a few friend requests. Anything up to 10 is fine. If you get any people sending you friend requests, then obviously accept them. Another good method here is to go and join groups, open groups. This puts your profile in front of a lot of people and again will hopefully induce people to send you friend requests. But it's important to keep slowly but surely building the number of friends in this account. If we all now Twitter, again this is an old account. I actually used to use this for auto posting and I haven't actually made a post of this in 4 years. But this is just about showing you what you need to do. Again, make sure you fill out your profile and crucially add an image. You can also change the background. Twitter gives you lots of different backgrounds you can choose. There's no need to go too far, just choose a different one from the default one. Now the quickest way to actually build followers is to go and find people who already have a lot of followers and follow them. You will then start to find that you will get people following you. An easy way to find this is just to go to friendorfollow.com/twitter/most-followers/. Now you can follow who you want to on this page. You don't have to follow them all, and you certainly don't have to follow Justin Bieber. But it's a good way of starting to build up your followers. Another good method is to choose a big internet marketing guru and follow them, because you'll find that a lot of marketers actually go to those accounts and automatically follow people that are following them. And again, it's just a good way of building up your followers. Just like with Facebook, the more followers you have, the bigger the impact this is going to be when you use the tool. Now, Pinterest is a little bit different. It's more about just getting images on your boards and using it on a regular basis. I'm going to cover all that in a minute, but first of all, I mentioned boards. Now when you complete jobs inside the Alliance tool, you're obviously probably going to have products in a lot of different niches. So you have two options. You can create 5 or 6 different boards, and by the way, a board is just like a folder for organizing images. So you can create 5 or 6 really broad category boards, for instance, health, sport, pets, houses, and then when you do jobs, you can put them into the specific boards that you've created, or you can just create one board for them all. But again, when you create the board, do not put ASM in the title, do not put Amazon in the title. And all you do is you click on plus, click on create a board. So for instance, I'm calling this one stuff I want, I'm just putting that in description. You don't need, description is not that important. The category, if you're just going to choose one board for everything, then I suggest you either use products or other at the bottom. But if you're creating multiple ones, then obviously you choose the relevant category. You don't add a map, you don't make it secret, you don't put any email in here, and then you just click on create board. And it starts telling you you can add a map, but obviously we're not interested. So we've now created a board, and in fact I've actually got 2 boards on this that are virtually the same, which you're going to see in a minute. But let's go back to Facebook. Once you've started building your friends, obviously the other thing you need to do is you also need to be adding content. Now this content can be any kind of content you want. It's just really important that you add other types of content so that you're not just showing Amazon products that you get from the Alliance tool. So where do you get the content? It could be stuff you've seen on the news, you can make a post about it. The easiest way is actually to go to Google News, and you can choose a category if you want. I'm going to sports, just going to pick the first one, click on it, and that will open up a page on our site. Now more often than not, these pages will actually make it really easy for you by actually having a link to share stuff on Facebook or on Twitter. I'm still seeing like. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to click on it. And then with Facebook, you just want to add a short comment. So I've just put Go Heat and then click Add. That is actually going to like this page with your account, and it's also going to add a link to this page on your Facebook account, which I'll show you in a second. You do the same with the tweet. Just click on Tweet. Obviously, you need to be logged in to your Twitter account. Okay, and that's done. Now with Pinterest, it depends on the type of content you're bringing up. Some of them will have a Pinterest icon. In this case, it's a video, so there probably isn't going to be one. So I'm actually going to go to a Google search page, which is where I've typed in weird news stories. And this is another great way of finding interesting stuff to put on your Facebook account. Okay, you just click on them, have a look. Huffington Post's got a lot of really good stories, again news, but you can do anything. You can go to ESPN and add sports stories. You can go to any page on the net you want and add them as content to your Facebook page. And remember, this is a new account. It doesn't have to be stuff that you're particularly interested in. It just needs to be stories and content. Maybe even you can add videos, you can add YouTube videos. There's tons and tons of funny YouTube videos you can add anytime you want. And the important thing here is that every time you go in and log into the Alliance tool to do jobs, then log into the 3 social accounts and go and add some content before you do the jobs. If you get into the habit of doing that, then your account is going to be brilliant, it's going to look real, and you're not going to get any problems. Now if we go back to Facebook and I refresh the page, there you go. You can see it's posted a link to that news story, but it's added content on my timeline. We'll go to Twitter and again do the same thing, go to the home page, there you go, you can see I've just posted this. Again, it's starting to make my account look real because I'm actually posting stuff. Now you can get auto posting tools for these accounts, but do not use them because they are obvious. They're obvious that they're auto posters, and that's not what we want to be doing. Okay, so that's Facebook and Twitter. You just want to be adding 3 or 4 items of content every day. You can use the same content on both. You can use different content on both. It's completely up to you. But going back to Pinterest, it's not always the case that you're going to find content on the net that's going to be easy to post to Pinterest. So if you don't find any when you're doing your daily searches, so with Pinterest, what you want to do is you just want to go to the Pinterest homepage and you can type in a search term. So I'm going to put in pets, and this is going to give me all the boards and pins that are posted about pets most recently, so you can just go and pick one. If you see one that looks interesting, if you put your mouse cursor over it, you'll see a pin it or a heart. If you pin it, then you're just going to pin that actual image, which we're going to do, but you can also click on the heart. And what the heart does, it means you now like their board, and their images are actually going to appear on your timeline. But you just click on pin it, and then you choose the board, and you can add, again, you can add stuff to the description yourself, and then just click pin it. If we click on see it now, it's going to take us to that pin, and that is our content. Although we've just shared it from someone else, it's added to our board, it's making us look real. And again, you just want to do 4 or 5 of these a day, but even better, if you find content on the net that you can just add to Pinterest, then do that. But this essentially is all you need to do to make your accounts look more real. It's very, very simple to do. As I've said, when you log in to the Alliance tool to complete jobs, to get credits to post your own jobs, then log into Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And before you do any jobs, just go and add 3 or 4 bits of content to all 3 accounts. If you do that, and we all do that, then the power of the Alliance tool is just going to grow and grow, because it's all going to be real looking accounts that we're sharing everything on. Now, lastly, before I go, any questions at all about using the Alliance tool, then please go into the forum, post your questions in there. There's a specific forum area just for the Alliance tool where all the mentors will be waiting to answer your questions, and also the hundreds and hundreds of members that are already using the Alliance tool and know how to get the best out of it. So any questions, go into the forum and post your questions. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to complete jobs to get your credits. But for now, that's the end of this video. Take care. Hey there, and welcome to this Alliance tool video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete jobs inside the Alliance tool. Please make sure you watch the previous video showing you how to set up your social accounts and making them look real. Now, this is very simple to do if you just follow the instructions inside the tool itself. Before you actually start to complete jobs, it is important that you log into your accounts. So make sure you log into your Amazon buyer account and your Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest accounts. So let's go log into our Amazing Academy account and get started. Okay, so we've logged into the Amazing Academy, and as you'll see, I've got my Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon sites all logged into. Once you've done that, just click on Tools, then the Alliance, and when you log into the Alliance tool, it will always open on the default Claim Job page. And this is exactly what we want to do. Now, it's important to always read the instructions on this page and on all the other pages. It explains how many jobs you can do a day. You can do 6, and at most you're only going to have to complete 2 jobs for any given job type per day. And you can skip up to 4 jobs per day. If you skip a particular job twice, you won't see that type again for the rest of the day. Now, some of these things might not make sense to you, but they will once you start using the tool. And the review voting message will cover when we get there. So all we need to do now is click on Claim Job. Okay, so as you can see, we've started off with an Amazon product review helpful. And you'll see up in the top right here a countdown timer. And basically, for each job you claim, you have 1 hour to complete it. But you must complete that job or skip it before you can move on to the next one. So basically, all you need to do is follow the instructions. So make sure you are signed into your Amazon account. Check. Copy and paste the member's Amazon product URL into your browser. That's this here. All you need to do is click on it, right click, and copy it. We go to Amazon, paste the URL into the browser, and hit return. And this is the review that another member has asked us to vote up. So we've done the first step. Take a before screenshot of the entire review, including the number of people found the following review helpful. Now, if you're not sure about this, all you need to do is click here for sample before and after screenshots, and it's going to open a window and it's going to show you what it means. And this is very important so that you actually get credit for completing this job. I'm just going to close that again. So basically, you would go to your Amazon and take a screenshot. Now, it varies whether you're on a Mac or a PC. By now, you should know how to take screenshots, as you actually needed to do that to complete one of your badges. Now, for instance, on the Mac, I know it's Command-Shift-3. You can hear the lovely sound telling you that it's actually been done. So you've taken the screenshot before, and you can do this with any tools you've got. If you've got Snagit, you can use that, or Jing, anything you like. But you needed to take this screenshot before you do anything else. Then we go back. Step 4, click the yes icon next to was this review helpful? Then what we're going to do is take another screenshot of the entire review, including the thank you for your feedback. Now, I know it seems like a lot of steps, but you basically have to do these just to make sure that you do get credited for completing this job. The reason you have to do the extra intermediate screenshot here is because sometimes the review doesn't change straight away and you have to wait for quite a long time. It's just the way Amazon works. So because we had a lot of problems with this before, we've introduced this intermediate step just in case. So we'll go back to the review. Was this review helpful? We're going to click on the yes. And you'll see thank you for your feedback. So we just take another screenshot, okay, then refresh your browser screen. Remember, you're looking here, at the moment it's 5 of 5, so hopefully this will have worked and it will say 6 of 6. And there you go, 6 of 6. So you now take a screenshot of that. So we've got 3 screenshots. So now all you do is click on Browse to find that image and select that image. Okay, so I've done that's my before one. And then you want the third one you took if it worked. So in other words, if the third screenshot you took, it didn't update it, show the next number up. In other words, mine was 5 of 5, and then it became 6 of 6. If you don't get that, use the intermediate one. But mine worked, so I'm going to select the third one I took. Okay, once you've done that, all you need to do is click Complete Job. Okay, and as you can see, it's submitting the job, and it's being sent. And that's it, you've finished your first job of the day once you come back to the Claim Job screen. Okay, so we're going to click on Claim Job, and hopefully this will turn up a different one to Amazon. And sure enough, we've got a Facebook one. So once again, we just need to follow the instructions. So make sure you're signed into Facebook. I told you needed to sign in for all these accounts. And copy and paste the Facebook share URL into your browser. So just click on it, right click, select copy, go to Facebook, paste it in. Okay, we've done that step. So from point 3, make sure to select public from the post privacy drop down. Basically that's right here. So mine's saying public, so that's fine. If you have yours set to private for your main settings, you'll need to come in here, click on it, and change it to public. Okay, step 4, click share the link. Okay, and it's shared it. Now to find that, all you need to do is click on your profile. There is what we've just shared. Now one thing I didn't mention is, because it isn't mentioned on the instructions, but it's something you should always try and do. And that is when you share this, on the previous page you actually have an option to add a short comment. And it's always worth doing that. Anything you like, it just needs to be a short comment, and if everyone does this, it helps everybody. I don't really want to give you some examples because then we'll just end up with everyone doing the same thing, but you just want to say something short and sweet about the actual product, or where you found it, or why you're posting it, anything at all. But obviously do not mention ASM whatsoever. And just to show you what I mean, before you share the link, you can just type something in here where it says say something about this. So I've just put nice set of brushes, because it's an artist brush set. So you just want to say something about it before you click on share link. And then we need to get the permalink by viewing the share in the Facebook account and then clicking on the date. Right, what that means is we've gone to our profile, we can see the link we've just shared, and where it says 2 minutes ago, it's more likely to say 30 seconds or 60 seconds ago. When you do it, just click on it, and then you want to copy the entire URL that appears at the top. Go back to Amazing Academy, paste in the URL and click Complete Job. Submitting the job, you'll notice this is a little bit quicker, and you've done it. You've now done your Facebook job. Okay, let's try another one, and hopefully this time it'll be Pinterest or Twitter. Okay, we've got a Pinterest one. So again, let's read the instructions. Make sure you're signed in. Yeah, we're signed in. Copy and paste the Pinterest pin URL into your browser. Select a board and click pin it. So we'll click on it, copy it, go to our Pinterest account, paste it in and hit go. Okay, everything's looking good. I'm going to leave it in the board, things I like. Then just click on pin it. Okay, and then you want to click on see it now to actually see that pin. And here it is. You copy the URL, you go back and you're going to paste it into the shared permalink. Now, it's important here to notice that sometimes when you pin something, it doesn't take you to the actual pin. So all you need to do is go to your account, click on the board that you posted the pin in, and then put your mouse over that pin and click on it, and then that will give you the URL. And as you can see, it's showing an example here, and that's exactly what we've got. So you just click Complete Job. Okay, so cross all your fingers and toes that this will actually be a Twitter job. Hallelujah. Okay, so let's do the Twitter one. make sure you're signed into your Twitter account that you want to share. Now your account must not be private, you must be showing your tweets as public. It's very important. Copy and paste the Twitter share URL into your browser. Okay, so we copy it again, go to the Twitter page, click paste and go. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. Then all you need to do is click on tweet. And again, this will either take you to your tweet or it'll give you this option to view it on Twitter, and there it is, and you copy it. If it doesn't take you to the right place, all you need to do is go to your Twitter home and click on tweets under your profile, and again, click on the time, and there's the URL you need to copy. I've already got it, so I'm just going to go back, click paste, click complete job, and we're done. And that's it. Okay, so it's just telling me that I've already completed my maximum of jobs, and that's because there was a couple of extra ones in there that I didn't bother recording because it would have just been recording the same job again. But essentially, that's how you complete all 4 types of jobs, whether it's an Amazon review, Pinterest pin, a Facebook share, a Twitter tweet. They're all covered. They're all very straightforward. Just make sure you always follow the instructions. Once you've been doing this for a few days, it's going to be second nature and you're going to fly through it. It takes you very, very little time at all. But that's it. So all you need to do now is come in here every day or every other day or whenever you can, complete 6 jobs and get your 6 credits for that day, and that will give you more ammunition to be able to post your own jobs and to really, really get the incredible benefit that you can get from the Alliance tool. But that's it for this video. Take care.
Matt Clark here. So welcome to Module 6 of Amazing Selling Machine. So by this point, we start getting into some different promotion tactics that in an ideal world, you already have your product live. In fact, some of these you'll need to have your product live. But if you're not there yet, don't worry. Do everything in Module 5 from a promotion standpoint. And even if you do have your product live, make sure you've already started doing the things in Module 5 to really lay the foundation to start ramping up sales. So in Module 6 is where we take your promotion to the next level. This information is brand new, it's cutting edge, it's what's working right now with this business. It's how to scale your traffic and sales to really any level you want. Because you start learning how to use coupons and videos and even some paid traffic sources like Facebook, which we know is absolutely huge, and even Google AdWords, and some different tools like that to ramp up sales really to as big as you want. So use this module to take your sales to the next level, and even if you're waiting on a product, once you get it live, come back to this module and use it to ramp up your sales. This is something you can do again and again and again and again, along with the stuff in Module 5. So this is kind of phase 2 of the promotion. So go ahead and get started right now with Module 6 of Amazing Selling Machine.
Hi, Mike McCleary here, and I put together this very brief video to give you an overview of the different types of buyer traffic that you're going to learn in this module. In Module 6, you're learning some amazing methods for getting all types of buyer traffic to your Amazon product listings. And I mentioned buyer traffic because these methods are specifically designed to get customers who are actually looking for your products to your product page on Amazon. This short overview will tell you a little about each one and when you might want to use them. The first are the coupon and deal sites, and this traffic method can be a great way to kick off your product launch and get a huge burst in sales. Sometimes you can be running through your entire inventory if you're not careful. It's also a good tactic you can use a few times throughout the year, but it's definitely not the kind of traffic strategy that you want to run all the time every day. The cost for it? Absolutely nothing. The only thing you need to do is spend a little time setting up your accounts on these sites and maybe spending some time on the sites. Amazon sponsored ads can be run all the time. They should be a mainstay in your traffic toolkit and can be run 24/7 all year round. They're incredibly easy to set up and they require little maintenance other than just monitoring and optimizing them every once in a while just to make sure they're performing as desired. The cost? It's actually very little compared to any other type of paid traffic. While the volume of traffic is not that great, the return on your investment for these types of ads are among the highest you will find. Initially, you'll want to use Facebook ads to help launch your product and get a burst of sales also, as well as potentially helping you get reviews and some feedback. Later on, when you become more advanced in this type of advertising, it can be an extremely powerful tool that can be used all year round for all different types of strategies, such as building a customer list, sending customers to your own website or web store, and countless other marketing strategies. The cost, well, they can range from extremely cheap to however much you're willing to spend. Google AdWords can be another great way to get some initial traffic for a product that you just launched. However, there are some limitations on how you send your AdWords traffic to Amazon, so this method might not be the best for any long-term use. For the cost, it really varies depending upon your market and competition, so you definitely want to make sure you monitor exactly what you're bidding, what your daily budgets are. Now, the traffic methods listed in this module will definitely give you a huge advantage over most other Amazon sellers. However, even if you use all of them, and I can tell you for myself, I am not yet using all these methods, but even if you do, you've only just scratched the surface of all the traffic available to you. There are still tons of other ways to get traffic, such as pay-per-view, paper text, Twitter ads, YouTube ads, media buying, local advertising, and many, many others. There's a good friend of the course, his name's Gohar Chaudhry, and he loves to say the following: if you don't think that you're getting enough traffic, you're simply not looking in the right place. So how do you learn more? For one, be active in the community forums and on the Facebook community page. And that way you can learn and share from other members. And two, try to attend the live event, where we're going to have some of the best traffic experts in the world sharing information on how to get all types of traffic for your business. In this video, we're going to show you how to use Amazon's own internal advertising platform, Amazon Sponsored Ads. This program is for Amazon sellers only and is not only an easy way to get started advertising, but it can also provide some great results in a very short amount of time. To get started, you log into your Seller Central account, then go to the advertising menu, and then click on Campaign Manager. What this program allows you to do is to advertise any products that you're currently selling on Amazon so that they show up in the search results on Amazon when customers are searching for your type of product. To give you an idea, let's go over to Amazon and I'll do a quick search. So let's start typing in, let's see, one of my favorite products, olive oil sprayer. And here we go. Now these are the normal search results you're used to seeing right in the middle and going all the way down to the bottom. Usually there's 16 results there. And then when you get to the bottom, you'll see something called Sponsored Products on Amazon. And these are the ads that we're talking about and where your ads will show up too. There's usually two at the bottom. And also, if you notice when we were coming down here, they started putting ads on the right-hand side also. They may be repeats, the ones at the bottom, and they also include a couple additional products too. Amazon's always doing all kinds of testing with where they're placing your product ads to make sure that they get as many sales and you get as many sales possible, which is great for you. You also might see your ads showing up on mobile devices right here in the middle of the search too. They've been testing that out lately, and that's really a great spot to be. Now, if we were to click on any one of these ads, and we'll take the first one right here, it takes you to the product detail page just as if they clicked on the normal search results. So this advertising is a great way to get your products to show up in search results and get customers looking at your product detail page. So let's go back over to Seller Central and get our first ad campaign set up. All you need to do from your campaign screen is to click on Create Campaign. And you need to give your campaign a name. It doesn't matter what the name is. I prefer to give my campaign names something similar to the product that I'm selling. That way later on when you're selling multiple products and you have multiple ad campaigns, you can tell which one is for which. So we'll give this one the olive oil sprayer test campaign name. After that, you need to set a budget. They always default in $5. That's probably a little too low. I do like to keep mine reasonable starting off, somewhere between $10 and $20 until I've optimized my campaign and see how it's working. So let's start off with a budget around $15. You can leave the start date from right where it is and then click on Save and Continue. Next, we'll need to create what's called an ad group. And each campaign can have one or many ad groups. That way you can do some different testing of what your keywords are and what's working. And each ad group itself can have one or many ads. So it's kind of like a tree-like structure. However, for simplicity's sake, I recommend starting off simple and just having one campaign with one ad group and with one ad. So we'll do that here. We'll give the ad group any old name, doesn't really matter. Just call it ad group 1. And then we need to give it a default bid. And what this is going to do, it's going to be the default maximum cost per click that you're willing to pay for any keywords that we add to this ad group. Now later on, you can go in, you can adjust each individual cost per click for each keyword. This is just going to be the default. What I like to do is kind of check and see what Amazon is suggesting. They update this about once a month, and they tell you what the winning cost per click is by category. So if you look at this by clicking on the What Should I Bid link, you'll see the date this is updated was May 2nd, so about a month ago, and they'll tell you what the average winning cost per click is for each category. Now we're in, let's see, home and kitchen, and they're suggesting 16 cents. That's a really low bid. What I like to do also is bid more than what they're suggesting there. I think you'll find, especially early on when you are testing out your campaigns, you want to bid a little more to make sure that you get impressions and clicks. Otherwise, you won't really get enough data quick enough to determine if your keywords and your campaign is working. So instead of 16 cents, let's go with 25 cents. You just want to make sure it's reasonable. I wouldn't go anything above $1 for your first campaign. Once you do that, then you'll need to add your product to this ad group. As you can see here, there is our olive oil spray we'll be selling, and all you do is click add, and then that shows up over here. Next, we need to pick the keywords for our campaign. Now, Amazon again makes this really simple for you. All you need to do is scroll down, click on recommend keywords for your product, and there we go. It gives you all the suggested keywords, and you can go through these one by one and add them over there. So I'll go through, let's see, Misto olive oil sprayer, that's good. Misto oil sprayer, Misto sprayer, olive oil sprayer, kitchen oil sprayer, brushed aluminum, probably don't want that. Misto, that's a good one. Olive oil might be a good one too. It's not for our product, but people who are looking for olive oil might want to buy an olive oil sprayer, so we'll add that. Oil sprayer, not kitchen sprayer, maybe olive sprayer, brush. Those might be a little too generic. But I've added all those over there that Amazon suggested. Then you can go over there and also add in any other keywords that you want. So product, keyword 1, product, keyword 2. And you should have already done a lot of research in the earlier modules, figuring out exactly what your target keywords are. So you want to make sure that you add these over there. Once you have those added over there, you just click save, and then you're done. Your ad is now completely set up. You don't need to go in and add any images or add copy because Amazon does that for you. They're going to take the images that are already on your product and also the title of your product and create the ad for you. That's another reason why we always want you to have some really good eye-catching images on your product and also a good, well-converting product title because those are also used in things like this, such as your ads. Now that our ad's created, let's go look at some performance figures that Amazon gives us in order to really optimize our ads and make sure they're working as best as they can be. I'm going to click on ad groups, and as you see, there's the ad group that we created here. Most of the figures here are pretty self-explanatory. Of course, they're all 0 now because we just started the campaign. But if you look at this, we'll see impressions. That's the number of times your ad has shown up during a search. Clicks is the number of times someone's clicked on it. And then click-through rate is just a function of those two. First important thing to keep in mind is that if this number is very low, we're talking somewhere under 1%, maybe 0.3, 0.4, 0.5%. That's totally normal. Don't worry about it. Every week or every day, someone posts a question about why are their click-through rates so low. It's just the way it is on Amazon. For some reason, human nature there is that people do not search or do not click on the ads that often. However, it's okay because you're not paying for how many times your ad shows up. You're only paying for how many times they click on it. And even though you may not get a ton of clicks, when they do click, the results are really, really good. So next, you'll see how much you spent on your campaign and then what the average cost per click is. Then after that, all the rest of the figures have to do with sales. So Amazon keeps track of how many times someone has clicked on your ad and then ended up buying your product. But the very important thing to keep in mind here is that this data has a natural delay built into it for one reason or another. Not sure why. Maybe it takes time for the payments to clear, and that's what's holding up Amazon from actually reporting those sales. But your sales may not show up for 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 days. However, the other figures on here, such as impressions and clicks and your spend, those show up almost immediately, maybe within an hour. And the important thing to keep in mind there is that if you're monitoring a brand new campaign that maybe has been going for 2 or 3 days, you will see all the clicks and how much money you're spending on it, but you won't be able to see all the sales that have been generated off it yet. So you can't just make a decision after a couple days on how to optimize your campaign. What we recommend is for any new campaign, let it run for 3 or 4 days, then pause it, and let it stay paused for another 3 or 4 days and let those sales figures catch up. Then Once you have all the sales figures in and you know what your cost was, you can get a better picture of exactly how well your campaign performed. And when you see that information, you can determine which keywords performed well for you and which ones did not. And for those that did perform well, you might want to go in and increase the bid on those in order to get some more clicks. And for those that did not perform well, you might want to lower the bid or possibly even pause them all together because they're just not working out for you. Another thing you can do, you can kind of see how your daily budget is working. If you're reaching your maximum budget every day, you may want to consider raising it to something that's reasonable that you can afford. And that way you'll actually get some more sales out of it too. But only after you have optimized your campaign and you truly have a good feel for what keywords are working for you and what your return is for your ad campaign. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your very own Amazon promotion. A promotion is basically a coupon or discount code that allows a customer to save money or provides them some other type of incentive to purchase your product over a different one. To set up your first promotion, you log into Seller Central, then you select Advertising and Manage Promotions. On the Manage Promotion screen, you'll see the 4 different types of promotions that you can set up and run inside Amazon. Amazon actually has a really good detailed help section that go into great detail about all these different promotions, and you can learn about that by clicking the Learn More link at the top. However, we're going to go over these at just the right amount of detail to get you going as quickly as possible. Now let's go over the 4 types of promotions. The first one is free shipping, but it's important to note that this type of promotion can only be used on fulfilled by merchant products. So if you're selling using FBA, as you should be, then you won't be able to use this type of promotion. The money off gives either a flat dollar amount or a percentage off of your customer's entire order. And this is the one you're going to use the majority of the time, and also the type of promotion that we're going to go over in this video. The buy one, get one simply offers your customer an additional product when they buy one of your products. And then lastly is the external benefits promotion, which gives your customer some kind of benefit outside the normal products, such as a promotional video or maybe an ebook that you'll send to them after they purchase your product. Now, before we actually create our first promotion, I'm first going to show you how to create what's called a product selection list. We do that by clicking on Manage Product Selection. A product selection list is nothing more than a list of one or more of your products, and that tells Amazon exactly which products the promotion you're creating can be used on. So we'll go ahead and select Create New Product Selection. Then you're shown a list of different ways that you can actually select these products to add to the list. I always choose ASIN, it's just as the simplest for me. Click Submit. And then here we need to give Amazon some internal information that doesn't get shown anywhere else, so it doesn't matter exactly what you type here, but they need to have a tracking ID, so we'll call this one the sprayer list. And then you can give it a little longer, more descriptive name if you want to, olive oil sprayers. And then here's where you list the ASINs that you want to be included in this list. Now we just want one for now, so we'll type in our Misto olive oil sprayer ASIN. And then if we were making a change to this list, let's say that we were removing or adding something to it, we can make some notes here so that Amazon allows you to track exactly when you're making changes to your list. Then we just click Submit. As you can see here, our product selection list has been created. And so now we're ready to go back and create our promotion. We'll click on the Manage Promotions button. And now we're right back where we were before. Now let's go ahead and create a money off promotion. Amazon breaks down the promotion setup into 3 different sections. The conditions that have to be met in order for the promotion to apply, the scheduling of the promotion that show when the promotion will start and end, and then any additional options that don't fit into the above 2 sections. The first condition that we have to set up is the number of items or dollar amount that the customer has to purchase in order to get this promotion. Our options here are a certain dollar amount they have to buy, a minimum number of items they have to buy, or a multiple of how many they can buy in order to get this. For example, for every 5 items, they're able to get this promotion. However, most of the time, you're going to want it just to be at least this quantity of items and leave that to 1 so that every time they buy a product, they will get this promotion. Next, we have to tell Amazon which products this promotion can apply to. So as we talked about earlier when creating a product selection list, we mentioned that a promotion can apply to every single product in your inventory or your catalog, or you can just apply it to one specific product selection list. Now we already set one up, so we're going to go ahead and pick that list right now. If later on you realize that you forgot to set up a new product selection list, You can do that right here by selecting this link. Next, we have to tell Amazon exactly how much of a discount the customer is going to get with this promotion. There are two options here, a flat dollar amount off or a percentage off. I always prefer using a dollar amount off, and here's why. Let's imagine that I'm running a very aggressive promotion. Let's say it's 80% off and I'm launching a new product, and I want a lot of different customers to buy that product. If I were to go ahead and use percentage off and make that 80% off, I can't control if one customer goes in and buys 100 of my products all at 80% off. And that way they could run out of my entire inventory, and I really don't get my product out to a lot of different customers' hands. However, if instead I choose a dollar amount off and I convert that 80% off to a dollar amount, so let's say that my olive oil sprayer is selling for $20, 80% off would be a $16 discount. The difference here is that if the same customer goes in and tries to buy 100 of my olive oil sprayers, they only get $16 off one time. It doesn't come off of every single product like a percentage off does. So that's why I choose to always use the dollar off. However, though, if you're running a normal promotion, let's say it's 20% off, and you don't care if the same customer gets that discount on every product, feel free to use the percentage off. And finally, you can just leave the applies to show purchased items, and it'll work just fine. Now let's take a quick look at the advanced options, even though we're not going to use these. Tiers give you the ability to actually provide different discounts depending on different levels that the customer buys. So for example, let's say that they buy 5 items, you can offer one discount level, then you can add another tier, and for the next 5, it can be a completely different discount level, and you can continue to add tiers on. For excluded items, you can actually go in and exclude any item in your catalog from this particular campaign. Next, let's go look down at scheduling. We're going to look at the start date. You can leave that for whenever you want it to be. Now remember, however, that the time they give you here is going to be roughly 4 hours from whenever it is right now. Now, all Amazon promotions take 4 hours to be active, so you need to make sure that when you're getting ready to run a promotion that you plan ahead of time and get your promotion set up well in advance, because it will take 4 hours to start. Then you can also give it an end date and an end time. You can give your promotion some kind of internal description. Again, the customers aren't going to see this, but let's just give it the sample olive oil sprayer promo. And then you can give it a tracking ID. They'll automatically create one for you. I usually leave the default in right where it is. Next, let's go down and check out the additional options. The first one is the claim code checkbox. And by checking this, you are telling Amazon that the customer has to enter the claim code in order to get the promotion. If you don't check this, then any customer who buys your product during this time period will get the promotion, and you definitely don't want that. So we'll check that. Next one is 1 redemption per customer. You also want that checked. Otherwise, the same customer could keep coming back and getting the same promotion over and over again. Then there's the claim code itself. Amazon automatically generates an 8-character code for you, but you can also go in and create your own, make it a little more personal. So let's call this one Sprayer 1. It has to be 8 characters, so you need to make sure you use all 8 of them. Then there's the claim code combinability, and that's whether or not this claim code can be used with other claim codes or it has to be used all by itself. More times than not, you want it to be exclusive, and you only want this promotion code to be used without anything else. If you do want to try it and go ahead and allow them to combine other promotions that you created, then you may want to check out the help function for these 2 different options right there. But more times than not, you want the exclusive claim code. Then let's go down and look at customizing the messaging. Now this is what's going to show to the customer after they check out. Amazon defaults in something called promotion applied. You can change this also. Let's just make this thanks, you rock. Then there's the short display text. You can just leave that blank. This box is very, very important. The detail page display text. If you want this to show up on your detail page, so anytime someone finds your product, whether or not they know what your promotion is, then check this box and it's going to show up on your product detail page. However, highly recommend making sure it's not checked, because usually when you're running promotion, you only want to give that promotion to certain people who you have found during your advertising, and not every single customer who finds your product. So again, leave that box unchecked unless you definitely want to give this sale away to everyone who gets your product. And if that's the case, you might as well just change the price on your product. Lastly, they're going to show you the terms and conditions. These are all the basic ones that Amazon comes up with. I always just leave them the way they are, and then you click on Review. On this screen here, Amazon will show you if there are any issues with your promotion. Let's say that you typed something in wrong, but as you can see, we did not. So all you need to do now is click on Submit, and then the promotion will be created, and in 4 hours, it will be active. Now, when you're back on the Manage Promotion screen, you might not initially see the promotion you just created down here. Most likely, that's because you're only showing your active promotions and not your pending ones. And remember, it takes 4 hours for this promotion to become active, so in order to see it, you'll need to select Pending and hit Search, and then it should show up down there. Now, another very important thing to do is to test out your promotion to make sure that it's working the way it should. So after 4 hours when it's active, you're going to want to log in from another Amazon account because you can't do it from your own seller account. In order to test out a promotion, you need to add your product to your cart, and a seller cannot add their own product to the cart. So either log in from a different account, your buyer account preferably, or have a friend or family member go ahead and try using the promotion to make sure it's working correctly. One thing to want to look for is to check out your product detail page. Make sure the promotion is not showing up on that page, unless of course you wanted it to. And then next, you actually want them to add the product to their cart and apply the promotion in order to see how the promotion is behaving. They don't have to purchase it or complete the purchase, but they do need to get to the point where they apply the promotion to make sure that it's actually giving them the right dollar amount or percent off that they're expecting. So that's how you set up a money off promotion using Amazon's promotion system, which is most likely the only type of promotion you'll ever need to create. However, if you do want to check out the buy one, get one or external benefits promotions, feel free to go in and look at Amazon's own documentation by selecting the Learn More link here. And they go into quite a bit of detail of how to set those up and how to use them. I'll also post a quick link to that below this video. Welcome to the Coupon and Deal Sites video lesson in Module 6. In this lesson, we're going to show you how to tap into the selling power of the many different coupon and deal sites that you'll find on the internet. These sites give you a chance to launch your product and get a quick burst of sales, as well as run some additional promotions throughout the year. Now, the internet is filled with sites that allow consumers to share information on great deals that they found on the internet. And below, here are just a few examples of such sites, but you can actually find a lot more by searching on the internet. There's Fat Wallet, Woot, Slick Deals, Deals Plus, Retail Me Not, and many others. So why would you want to use these sites? Well, these sites, when used correctly, can be a fantastic way to launch your product and get a huge burst of sales. In addition, you can periodically, about every 2 to 3 months, but not too often, share other promotions that you're running on these sites and give your product an additional sales boost throughout the year. Now, this is very important to note. These sites are made up of customers who love great deals. I mean, that's why they visit and are members of these sites. So if you make them a really good offer, it could easily go viral and help you sell hundreds, if not more, maybe thousands of your products. So you want to make sure that you set up your promotion correctly and that you have enough inventory to handle a surge like that. And trust me, we've seen this happen to a couple different members where they've either set up their promotion incorrectly or they created a promotion that was never intended to go onto these sites and ended up selling out of their inventory and lost a lot of money because it wasn't designed for this type of promotion. So be very careful about how you set your promotions and which ones you actually put onto these sites. Now there's a couple things you'll need to know about these sites. First off, these sites are consumer driven, which means they're designed with the customer in mind, and they're not designed for sellers and retailers like us to sell our products and get free advertising. And secondly, you have to remember that you're not the owner of these sites. So if you want to participate in them, you need to try and follow the rules and contribute like any other shopper or member. Not only is it going to help you out later when you launch your promotions, but it's also the right thing to do. Now let's talk about how to use these sites. First off, to properly season your account, which means getting your account ready before you actually post a deal, you'll want to go ahead and get your account set up at least a few weeks prior to launching your first promotion. The longer it is before you launch your first deal, and of course the more active you are prior to that, the better your chances are to have your deal go well. And now we'll go through all the steps and what you need to do. Now, I'm not going to go through every single site that we talked about because there's literally hundreds of sites out there and each one has its own way of setting up an account and doing the steps we'll go over, but it's pretty straightforward and you can find the instructions on each site that you go to. But step one is to create an account. And you'll want to use a persona and a generic email address. So definitely not your name or a name tied to your company, and not an email address tied to your company either. You want to use something at Gmail or Yahoo and just a generic email address. Then you want to fill out as much information as possible on the profile. Remember, you want them to see you as just a regular person and another member of their site. So fill in as much as you can. And then also you want to add a picture or an avatar so that your account looks more complete. And then if the deal site is only for US residents, you may need to get a proxy service in order to get your account set up. The next step is to actually start participating in the site. So for the next couple of weeks, you want to visit the site just like any other member would who's looking to find or share great deals. And try spending about 5 to 10 minutes a day on the site, and especially the one you plan on sharing your deal with. You never know, as when I was doing this myself, I actually found a lot of great deals that I ended up taking advantage of, so it's kind of fun to do too. One idea is to find some deals on products that you own or are familiar with, and make some comments about what you do or do not like about them. That way you're actually giving back to the community, and you're starting to be seen as a valued new member. Another idea is to follow some of the more popular people on those sites and vote up their deals, or at least some of them. Each site has its own way of voting on deals, which is similar to voting on Amazon reviews and comments. So it should be pretty easy to figure out. And lastly, if you happen to come across a deal on the internet that you think would fit in perfectly with the site that you're on, go right ahead and post it. You just want to make sure, though, that it's not for your own product nor any other ASM product. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't post any deal that's for a strictly Amazon sold product. I'd find something outside of Amazon, such as on Sears or Target, something like that, because later on when you are posting your deal going straight to Amazon, you just don't want to have a pattern of only posting deals to Amazon. So finally, the third step is actually when you're ready to post your deal. So after a few weeks, you can go ahead and post your deal to the site following their rules and guidelines for doing so. Now remember, your deal has to be a great deal in order to take off on its own. 10 to 20% off coupons simply won't cut it, and the members of these sites know that, and they'll shoot your deal down. So it really has to be a great one, and I suggest something at least between 30 and 50% off at the minimum. Now, that amount off we're talking about, it should be off your normal selling price, not your retail price. These are very smart buyers looking for deals, and they know that no one ever pays retail, so don't tell them that your 20% off is off the retail price, when in reality, you never sell for that anyway. Also, I suggest make sure your deal has a sense of urgency to it, such as it expires at midnight or the next day. That way you'll get a lot more people to go in and accept your deal now. And one thing you might want to do is share how you found the deal. It makes it a little more real. Like, did you get it in an email, find it on another deal site, or maybe on a Facebook page that you follow? Now remember, this is really important. You're a consumer who came across the deal. You're not someone who is selling it. So act accordingly. Write your deal just like you found a deal and you just want to share it to people, not that you are the person selling the product and you want to list out all the benefits. So along that line, make sure you don't use any ad copy, such as what you're taught here in this course. These sites can smell a marketer a mile away. So again, post it as a buyer, not a seller. One other thing to keep in mind that I always try to do is after you post your deal, don't comment on it. Now, this is going to be really hard to do because people may not like your product or they may not like the deal. And some people may slam it and make some remarks about whether it's a brand new product they wouldn't trust it, or a new seller, or the deal just isn't a good one. It's important not to take it personally, because remember, you are not the seller, you're just the buyer, so you cannot take these personally. And finally, if your deal's a good one, it's going to take off all on its own. There shouldn't be any need to ask people to go and vote on it, since doing so has its risks of its own. Now, step 4, and this is when you want to do another motion, I call it round 2. So once your deal is over, you do not want to run another deal for at least 2 to 3 months. Doing that can risk getting your account banned from posting any other future deals, and also reduces the value of your deals when you keep posting discounts after discounts. And if possible, start sharing your deals for your product on your company's own social media and websites. And you might find that your sales are getting picked up all on their own by other people who have bought your product, are members of the sites, and want to share the promotions when they see it. So here are some final thoughts. First off, using coupon on deal sites is not a long-term marketing strategy, but it's simply one of the many, many tools you have at your disposal, and its purpose is to get you a burst of sales from time to time. So at some point, one of the sites you're using may very well flag or suspend your account, but do not, and I repeat, do not let it bother you, nor take it personally. These sites pride themselves on their moderation, and can be incredibly aggressive. And if anything even smells of a promotion rather than someone just sharing a deal, they tend to shoot first and not even bother asking questions later. And finally, we just created a brand new section in the forums that's never existed before that is solely for sharing information on this topic, such as sites that members have come across that they're now using to share their own deals, strategies that are or are not working, and in general, any other information on this topic that might help other members out. So be sure to check it out, as we're really excited about this, as it's going to be another great resource for all of our members to have.
So now you're going to create a YouTube video to promote your Amazon product. YouTube itself is a massive source of traffic, but YouTube videos also rank extremely fast in Google. So not only are you going to be getting traffic from YouTube, you'll also be getting traffic from Google to your Amazon product. And that traffic also converts very well, because 52% of consumers say that they are more confident and more likely to buy a product after watching a video first. And this is going to be a great starting point for promoting your Amazon listing. Now, the best video to create to promote your Amazon product is a how-to video, because the largest number of searches related to videos on YouTube are for how-to videos. That's what people want to watch, and that's what they want to see. So the best type of video is a live person literally demonstrating the product. It can be how to use it or how to do something with it that's of benefit to the person watching it. So this could be you, or it could be a friend or family member, or if that's not an option, having a live person demonstrate the product for whatever reason, then you can do a video, with PowerPoint or Prezi, or even get somebody on Fiverr to read a script. That's sort of your second option. Best option is to have a live person demonstrating it, because that's what people really want to click on and want to watch when the video's on YouTube. So it's just going to be additional traffic for the same exact video. And another thing to think about is that this video really does need to represent your product. You don't want to just throw something up there with cheesy music. It really does need to represent your product, because you're going to use it for a while. It's hopefully going to be getting a lot of traffic and making people actually want to buy your product. So a few tips for creating your video. Tip number one is you want to make sure that there's actually spoken words in the video, not just like a slideshow with music playing. The reason for this is that YouTube actually analyzes the videos and transcribes them to see what keywords the video is actually relevant for. So if you have spoken words in there, talking about whatever your product is and whatever keywords you're targeting, that's going to help you rank better inside of YouTube. Tip number two is that you want to make sure that the length ideally is between 30 and 120 seconds. Too short, then you're not going to rank as well. Too long, people aren't going to want to sit there and watch that long. So 30 to 120 seconds. Tip number three is you want to make sure that there's a long, keyword-rich description in the description field for the YouTube video. Then at the end of that, and maybe even at the beginning as well, have a good, strong call to action. In this case, likely telling people to buy your product or go check it out on Amazon. You're going to get more detail on this video page and the detailed guide we have about setting all of this up.
Welcome to this video on getting your video created. Now, if you have never created a video of your own before, then don't be worried. There are several different ways you can get videos created easily and affordably, and I'm going to cover the best and easiest to get you started. Animoto.com. Now, Animoto is a web service that enables you to make videos quickly and easily using images and music. There is a free version, but I recommend you get the $5 a month version at least, as it gives you more options like themes, and enables you to download the video yourself. Essentially, all you need is images, either of your product or niche-related images, or both. You will then upload them to the site, choose your theme and your music track, which are all provided by Animoto, and the site will do the rest. Now, these are not going to be high-quality sales videos, but they are very effective, and we have many members who have built their entire brand just using Animoto videos. Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is my favorite place for getting my videos done. Now, I've been creating videos for 8 years, and I still use Fiverr.com for virtually all of my videos for my Amazon products and sites. Generally, you can get a decent video created for you for just $5, but you can also pay a little extra for higher quality. There are two main reasons I use Fiverr. First, a video costs $5, and I value my time at more than $5 for however long it takes to create a video myself, and you should too. There are multiple different types of videos you can get done on Fiverr. However, I'm not going to go to the site and show you how to search, as we don't want everyone using the same people and the same videos. But I'm going to tell you how to search. All you need to do is go to fiverr.com, set up an account if you have not already got one. Then in the search box, type in video or make video or create video or pretty much anything containing the word video. Then click on high rating to sort them. Then work your way through them looking for anything that looks interesting. Here are some types of video you might want to look at. Face videos. Basically providers that will actually speak in front of a camera and say whatever you want them to say. Testimonials. Normally this will also be a face video and will actually give a testimonial about your product. Funny or quirky videos. I like these because the vast majority of the ones that I have had created for me, people watching them watch right until the end so they see the call to action. Animated videos. Same as funny or quirky. For whatever reason, people tend to be there right until the end of the video. Personally, my highest ranking and highest traffic videos are all animated videos. Whiteboard videos, also known as scribe videos. Essentially, these are the style where you see an animated hand on a screen writing words or even drawing pictures. And explainer video. This is similar. But all of these videos you can find on fiverr.com and you can see exactly what they are. The vast majority of providers will actually show you examples of their work. Now, for the majority of these video types, you just need to provide the person creating your video with a short script. But don't worry, they're going to walk you through it and they will ask you for exactly what they need. Now, don't forget, you must remember to add a call to action for your videos where applicable. If you ask your provider, they will do it for you or just include it in your script. Now, if you want to create a high quality video, like the one Matt talked about in the previous video to this one, then you will need to spend a little bit more, obviously. However, these videos I've just discussed are fantastic for creating brand awareness, and especially for getting you traffic and links to your product and sites. Now, in the next video, I will show you how to use the powerful ASM video submission tool. But to use it, obviously you've got to go out there and get a video created or create one yourself. So, take action, go out and get a video ready, and then move on to the next video, and I'm going to show you how to upload that video to several sites automatically and to actually boost it. That's it for this video. Take care.
Hi, Mike McCleary here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Facebook ad in order to sell your own products on Amazon. Now, the strategy used in this ad is the same one used by Matt and Jason when they were able to sell over 2,400 products all within just a 12-hour period. That shows you just how powerful Facebook ads can be. Now, there are a lot of different strategies for how to run Facebook ads, but the most basic one involves coming up with a really great offer for your product, putting in front of the right people on Facebook, and then sending them straight to your product page on Amazon. That's the one that we're going to cover here. Now, for these ads, you'll be using your own product, but for the sake of this video, I randomly picked one, and this is the Big Mouth Toys prescription coffee mug. It's not my product, it's just one that I thought looked pretty cool, and anyone who knows me knows that I love my coffee. So now that we have the product that we'll be selling, the next thing you want to make sure you have is that you have a promotion set up. You want to make sure that the sale or deal you're giving your customers is really a great one so that they're going to click on your ad, and also when they get to your product on Amazon, they're going to want to buy it. So you can check out the other video on how to set up your own Amazon promotion in this module. Make sure you do that ahead of time because it takes about 4 hours for those promotions to be live. Once that's ready though, the next thing is to go ahead and actually go into Facebook and set up your campaign. Now, what you're looking at here is the basic Facebook Ads Manager. However, we don't really want to use this. We want to use what's called their Power Editor. This is going to give you some more functionality as far as targeting and also for setting up your ad. So you click on that. So now I'm in the Power Editor, and before you get started, you'll want to click on the Download to Power Editor, and that just makes sure that any campaign data you have in your Facebook account is actually downloaded into this interface here. From here, you can see that we have tabs for campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And if you've went through the Amazon ads training that's also in this module, you'll notice that it's a similar layout. You can have a campaign, and each campaign can have multiple ad sets. You can test different things, and then each ad set can have multiple ads. But for this, we're going to keep it simple. We'll have one campaign with one ad set and one ad. So all we need to do is click the plus button. And that brings up our Create Campaign dialog box. And we're going to give our campaign a name here. It doesn't matter what it is. We're just going to call this Prescription Coffee Mug. For the buying type, we'll leave that at auction. That's totally fine. And for the objective, we'll want to leave this at clicks to a website for now. And then click Create. Now our campaign is created here, and one thing I want to point out is that the interface you see may be a little different now because Facebook is always updating their Power Editor, so some of the buttons and tabs may be slightly different. However, the functionality should basically be the same. So let's go now and create our ad set. Click on the Ad Set tab, and then click on Plus. Now we're going to use the existing campaign that we just created, and we're going to give our ad set a name. It can be anything again. We'll just call this one Ad Set 1. And click Create. Now once your ad set's created, this is actually where you set your budget. You want to make sure you set it for wherever you're comfortable at. For your first ones, you want to keep it low. They're suggesting $10 a day. You definitely don't want to go anything higher than $50 or $100. Depends on your budget and what your goal is here. Also, you don't want to set it too high just in case you set something up incorrectly. So keep it kind of low, maybe 10 or let's go for $20 for this first one. And then you want to make sure that the dates down here and the time coincide with when your promotion that you created is going to be live. Remember, again, it takes 4 hours for any promotion you set up to go live, so you don't want to be running any Facebook ads before your promotion is actually live. So next, we're going to go ahead and actually set up our ad. So clicked on the Ads tab, now hit the plus button to create it. We're going to use the existing campaign, use the existing ad set, and just give whatever name we want. Let's call it the Prescription Coffee Mug Ad 1, and hit Create. Now before our ad's ready to go, there's three main sections we'll have to fill in. The first one is Creative, and that's the section we're in right now, which contains the images and ad copy for our ad. The next is Audience, and that's going to be who we're targeting in order to show our ad to. And then finally, Optimization and Pricing, which is our bidding strategy and how much we're willing to pay for every click on this ad. So let's fill out the creative first. There's our ad name we already came up with. The objective is website conversions. That's fine. Page post linked to your website. That's fine too. The next one you want to consider is the Facebook page or place that is actually going to be posting this ad. So if you can look over here, you'll see that I'm using an old web page, or actually an old Facebook fan page I created a long time ago. That's totally fine. You'll probably want to use your company page or your brand page in order to sponsor this, or it can actually be your personal page too. Either is fine. You just want to make sure that you pick the one that you want in order to sponsor this post. Then for the actual post, we're going to create it here to use for our ad. So you could select an existing photo or post, but we don't want to do that. Instead, you want to create a new unpublished post. And what that means is that it's going to create a post just as if you were placing it on this page, but it's not going to show up there, and instead it's only going to be used for this ad. So let's click on that and do that now. Now, while I had the video paused there, you may not have noticed it, but I went ahead and created a little mock-up of our ad over here first, only because I want you to see when we're entering the fields up here where they're going to show up over here. It's going to make it a little easier to see that. We can't see them all, but it'll show us some of them. First off, we need the URL that we'll be sending our customers to, and that's simply the product page. So we go over to our product, copy that, and enter that into the URL. Now the post text, this is going to be on top of your image. So kind of like an upper headline. So let's type in something here like, oh my God, look at this special, save 50% on this awesome coffee mug at Amazon.com right now. For the call to action button, let's make it a shop now button. And then for the link headline, this is going to show up right below your picture. And again, I want to mention that Facebook does a good job of telling you exactly what these fields mean. If you look on the little information buttons and hover over them, they're going to tell you exactly where these show up. So for the link headline, let's use get your prescription coffee mug now before the sale ends, to add a little bit of urgency, and then we'll go back and fix our spelling there. Now the display link, this can be exactly the same as the URL that you're sending them to. If you had a really, really long URL and you didn't want it to show up there, it might look too clunky, you could always shorten it, but for this one, we're just going to use the exact same URL. And then for the description, this is going to go right below the link headline. Now, the important thing to remember here is that when your customer clicks on the button on your ad, it's going to take them right to your product page on Amazon. So if you're actually having a sale where they need to enter your promotion code, you need to tell them that promotion code right here so they don't forget it. And preferably, try to make your promotion code something that's easy to remember. So let's go ahead and add that in now. Click here to buy and enter code. Let's see, we need an 8-character code for our promotion code, and hopefully we set that up already. Coffee, I think that's 8 characters right there, during checkout. Next, we need to upload an image that I've already copied from our product page. So we select it, hit open, and then our ad is complete. Just hit the Create Post button. Now, as you can see over here, that's what our ad looks like. Looks pretty good. Oh my God, look at the special. Save 50% on this awesome coffee mug at Amazon.com right now. There's that link headline I was telling you about. Get your prescription coffee mug now before the sale ends. And then click here to buy and enter code COFFEE during checkout. So now when they click the Shop Now button, it'll take them right to your product page, and hopefully they'll go ahead and enter the promotion code and purchase your product. Now, before we hit on the targeting, there's one other thing we need to do. You need to scroll down to the bottom and select where we're going to place this ad. And what we want to do is select Newsfeed Desktop Only. First off, this really doesn't go in the right-hand side. That's not this type of ad anyway. And mobile tends to perform differently than desktop. So for your first ads, just trust us and choose the Newsfeed Desktop Only. Next, we'll go back up and we're going to go over and start selecting our targeting and our audience. Now, while the discount or promotion you created inside Amazon and the ad we just created here are both really important to how well your ad campaign is gonna go, the target audience that you'd be putting this ad in front of is just as important, because you really want to make sure that only those people that you think have a good chance of buying your product are going to see the ad. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting money showing it out there to too many people. So Facebook gives us some really good details and tools for narrowing down your target audiences. Right now, it's on the screen. I haven't done any targeting. It's pretty wide open. It's only the United States. So you'll see the potential audience is 114 million people. Probably don't want to put this ad out in front of that many people. Probably want to get it close to something around 1 or 2 million if possible. Maybe 10 million if you're only spending $10, $20 a day. Feel free to throw your ad in front of some other people or a lot more people and just see how it goes, because your exposure is pretty limited by your overall budget. However, if possible, definitely know your market and try to target them using Facebook's tools. So let's go through some of these. We're not going to go through everything here. This is not a full-blown Facebook course. It's just to give you the basics so that you can get an ad up and running and get a short burst of sales. So first off is location. Of course, if you're selling on Amazon.com, you want that to be United States. Then there's the age range. So not only do you want to focus on age of people who will like your product, but you also want to make sure they're people who can afford to buy your product. So you'll know that better than anyone else will. Already that's narrowed 114 million audience down to 76 million. Then we could also target by gender. We could enter a language if we want to focus on English, for example. And then down here we get the demographics, interests, behaviors, categories. I won't go into all those, but interest is kind of an interesting one. No pun intended there. You can click on it and you can go through the menu and select different interests. So we'll go down to food and drink, and then under, let's see, beverages, and there's coffee right there. So let's add that in. So now by narrowing it down there, we've went down a lot more, from 76 million to 22 million already. In addition to just selecting through that menu, you can type in different types of options. So let's start typing in coffee, and you'll see a lot of different options come up. The coffee, bean, and tea leaf, for example. Coffee lovers, we'll pick that one. The number didn't really go down there because it looks like coffee lovers is most likely a subset of coffee. But you could start entering all kinds of interest based on your product and try to narrow down your targeting as much as possible. And finally, the last thing we need to enter is our optimization and pricing. A lot of times you can just pick the optimized CPM. We know a lot of people that actually, some very successful marketers that still use that. So that's an easy way to get things going. Let them optimize it and get you the most impressions. And once you've done that, your ad is done. All you need to do is upload your changes, and then you can see it running once it's been approved. Now, I realize this overview is pretty high level and it doesn't go into nearly all of the different scenarios and options and things you can do with Facebook advertising. But the goal of this course is not to make you a Facebook advertising expert. It's to make you a business owner with Amazon as your launching platform for building your own brand. So what you learned here is more than enough to get going, especially if you want to just do a quick launch of your product and get some initial sales going. And then later on, once you learn more about advertising on Facebook and become more familiar with it, you can test it and try out some other things and actually use it to continue promoting your product all throughout the year. There are a lot of great different functions you'll find in Facebook. They have some really good training inside there that'll show you how to use their ads, and I suggest you go there and learn those if you do want to go ahead and learn more about Facebook advertising. Hi, I'm Mike McCleary here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a Google AdWords ad campaign in order to send some targeted traffic from Google to your product listing page on Amazon. However, before I do that, I need to make a very important disclaimer, and that is that this strategy may or may not work for you. And the reason for that is that Google has some limitations on how many advertisers it allows to send traffic from Google to the same web page. It's probably easier if I show that to you, so let's go over and take a look right now. So here we are on Google, and let's imagine that we're selling shower heads, and we want to do a little bit of market research and see who else might be selling shower heads on Amazon and also trying to advertise on Google. So we'll type in our search term, shower heads, there we go. Google shows us the results, and now what we're going to see here is the top 3 are always Google sponsored ads. And you can tell those by that little yellow box that says ad by them. On the right-hand side, these are actually called product ads, and there's something a little different, and we're not going to go over that in this video. Then below them, we carry on again, and they pick up the remaining numbers of the different sponsored ads. All down here, these are paid ads. Now, we all know that there are millions of people that are selling products on Amazon, or at least millions of products being sold by hundreds of thousands of people. So you would think that if there's that many people selling products on Amazon, that we would see at least 2, 3, maybe 4 people advertising on Google and sending those clicks to their own product detail page on Amazon. However, if you notice here, look at the domains that these are going to. This one is going to Martin Glass. This one's going to Moen, that's the manufacturer. We finally get to the first ad that's actually going to Amazon. Now, if we continue down, we still would think, well, there's got to be other people that will be advertising on Amazon. However, you will not see them anywhere else in their paid advertisements. And the reason for that is Google doesn't allow it. Google has their own rule that for every search term that someone searches for, of all the ads they show, each one has to go to a different domain. So if there are 2 people both selling a product on Amazon, even though there's separate detail pages on Amazon, only one of those ads will ever be shown at a time. Now, how does Google decide which one of those ads actually gets shown? Usually, it's who's bidding the most. Now, there are a couple other factors that take into account, such as quality score and relevance, but usually it comes down to money. So whoever bids the most will get their ad shown on here. So what that means is that if you're going to try to advertise your product and someone else or multiple other people are already advertising their product on Google, you're going to get into a bidding war with them, which means it might not be financially reasonable or possible for you to advertise on Google and make any money sending that traffic to Amazon. Now, I mention that because maybe for a product launch, you don't care, you're going to spend a little money, you don't really need to make money, you're just trying to get some initial traffic. So this strategy, it might work out where you're okay spending a little more than you would and breaking even or losing a little bit by advertising on Google, but for a long-term strategy, this definitely will not work for everyone, and I just want to mention that so that you're fully aware of that. So let's go back and actually start setting up our first ad campaign. So you can go ahead and create yourself an AdWords account, and there's lots of help on this page for how to do that. So we're assuming that you know how to set up an account or at least can follow the instructions. Now, first off, when you get into your campaign, you'll see it's blank because you don't have anything created, and all you need to do is click on the plus to add a campaign. Now, there's a couple different options here. The one that I always try to use that's the simplest is the search network only. So that's the first type of campaign that we're going to set up. Now, you can give the ad campaign any name you want. We'll call it the shower head campaign. And again, this doesn't really matter. You'll see a couple different options over here. You can leave these the way that they are, standard or all features, doesn't really matter which one. Down here, do you want to include their search partners? I usually do. They also will show that your ad in some other different search networks, so I keep that on there. You can determine whether or not you want your ads to show up on all devices or not. You can also determine where you want your product ads to show. Now, if you're only selling on Amazon.com, you definitely want to choose just the United States. You can pick your language, and then down here is where you're going to start picking how you're going to bid. Now, what I do is I like to manually select my bids, and I start off with a pretty low one, let's say 50 cents, just to see how things are going. And then you also want to set your budget. And now, definitely when you're starting off on Google AdWords, you can blow through a lot of money very quickly. So start with something kind of low just so you don't lose your shirt on this. We'll start off with $20. Now, once we do that, you just click on Save and Continue. And now we're to where we're creating an ad group. And if you recall, by looking at the Facebook video we created earlier, you went through earlier, this is basically the same structure. You have a campaign, then you have ad groups on the campaign, and there can be many ad groups for each campaign. And then for each ad group, we're going to have multiple ads you can actually create. But for the simplicity's sake, we're going to have one campaign, one ad group, and one ad to start off with. So you give the ad group a name. We'll leave it as ad group number 1. And here is actually where we first want to create our ad. Now, as you're typing in the ads or the words for your ads, you'll notice a little number over here, and that's going to tell you how many characters you have left. You want to try to use all the characters that you have, but really the problem you'll have most likely is you're running out of characters. So let's say that we have the best shower head around. That'll be our headline. Buy now, on sale on Amazon. And what I like to do is to always give the price. That way you are pre-qualifying people a little bit. You don't get people who are just interested in finding out what the price is. You tell them what it is right here. That way, if it's already too expensive and something they're not interested in, they're not going to spend your money by clicking on it. So we'll type in, let's see, $19.99, ships today, and let's see, made in USA. The next thing is the display URL. So this is not the actual link that you're sending your product to, but it's going to be a pretty looking link. However, it has to be something that looks realistic to the customers. So for example, if your product is a shower head on Amazon, let's type this in, www.amazon.com/showerhead. And then for the actual URL that we're sending it to, this is going to be your product page. Let's go up here. Here is the product. This is the Qzx909 waterhead. We're just going to get the link from it up there. And we will copy that right into this destination URL. Now, all we need to do here is next enter the keywords. So the real easy thing here is that Google's automatically going to suggest some keywords for you. Now you probably already did your own keyword research, so you know which ones you want to list in here. I would suggest starting off with just a couple keywords, maybe 1, 2, or 3. So let's start off with shower head. Then let's put the word together too, shower head, because people might put it together. And then let's also go in for best shower head. And we'll start off with just those 3. Now, sometimes you can click on the estimate search traffic and it'll tell you exactly what you think you'll be spending and getting. Oh, this is pretty good. So it's telling us that the average cost per click is going to be somewhere between 22 and 27 cents. That's actually really good. How many clicks they think we'll get per day and what the cost is going to be per day. That's actually really good. We kind of like lucked in this one. So our default bid is going to be 50 cents. We can leave it at that. We could actually go ahead and lower this a little bit since they're saying the average click is going to be that. So we'll start with this though, but you can test it around. And then let's click on Save Ad Group. Now you're actually already done. By setting that up, you've entered in the campaign, you've created the ad group, we've created the ad, and we've also entered in the keywords. Right now, though, the ad still has to be approved, but that's really all there is as far as setting up a basic AdWords campaign. It'll usually take about an hour or so. If you have a brand new account, it may take a little longer because they do manually review all the ads. But once your ad is up and running, you'll be able to see your clicks coming through. Just like on the Amazon ads, it's going to show you the number of clicks, the number of impressions, what your click-through rate is. On here, you want it to be probably somewhere around 3 to 5% is a pretty good click-through rate. Above that is a really good click-through rate. That's also going to tell you what position your ad is showing up in. So remember, we looked over here. We saw these are the first top 3 positions. Then they start over here going with 4, 5, 6. So when they show 1.2 or 2.7, that's the average spot that your ad is showing up in. I always like mine to show up in position maybe 2 or 3 and kind of target around that. But that's pretty much all there is to it. As long as your daily budget is low, you don't really run any risk of spending too much money, but you definitely want to monitor this, watch and see how your ads are performing, and hopefully this will be a good strategy for you, especially early on how to get some quick traffic to a product that you've launched and get some sales.